Okay, check, check, check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay, there we go. Metcalf was able to hold that, but they stayed with the puck back behind the net. Blue got it, took a chance out in front to Zeal with a tap in that will score. Parks out of the shotgun, takes the snap, stepping, looking, back shoulder fade to Mackey, and he catches it for a Red River touchdown.
It's time for the best in local sports coverage with KNOX Live Sports and News Radio 1310 KNOX.
Puck goes free to the high slot, picked up Lovejoy, wrister, and he scores. Reardon working right side, defended the entire way. A stop by Dookie. She looks into J.C. Reardon. The high-low is there.
The following is a presentation of KNOX Live Sports, presented by Rivard's Turf and Forage and Grand Trailer Sales.
Off to the right, down to the doorstep. Hoganson, a backhander, he scores. What a play for Griffin Hoganson.
Let's go live to tonight's presentation.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you tonight to Purpur Arena and our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivard's Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports. It's an Eastern Dakota Conference showdown tonight featuring the Grand Forks Central Knights and the Fargo North-South Spartans. Ryan Cunningham with you here this evening from Purpur Arena. It's been, to say the least, an unpredictable Eastern Dakota Conference season thus far. We've seen some developments that perhaps we really didn't expect. This Grand Forks Central team came in with a lot of hype, and apparently their opposition has known it. The last time they skated in this building, they had to fight off Fargo Davies in overtime, and Davies is across town tonight in Midtown at the Iceplex, taking on Grand Forks Red River. That's going to be a great showdown inside the EDC. And this Fargo North Spartan team has a history of seeing the Grand Forks Central shield on the chest of a uniform and coming right after them, and we're expecting nothing less than that coming up in this one tonight. We bring it to you courtesy of our premier sports partners, Rivard's Turf and Forage, a premium seed dealer in Grand Forks. You can find them online at rivards.com, and Grand Trailer Sales, your home for all things trailer in East Grand Forks, who's also at home tonight as the Green Wave take on Bemidji. That game started at 6 o'clock this evening. All three games are available to you on KNOX Live Sports tonight. But this one will be an interesting test for Grand Forks Central. How do they bounce back? They were to have a game against their crosstown rival, Red River, last week on Tuesday. But a week ago, Mother Nature was the only winner. Chased everything until later. They'll play Red River coming up on Saturday. And for the Knights, you hope this isn't a trap game where you get caught looking ahead to your crosstown opposition for a Saturday afternoon matchup with a game Fargo North Spartan team in town. And really, there shouldn't be any trap games for everybody. Fargo North was beaten by Grafton Park River in overtime, but has won 3 games so far this year. They're 3-0-0-1 on the season. Central's only lost to East Grand Forks. They're 3-1, but both of these teams have proven they're capable. Both of these teams have proven they're vulnerable. I don't think there's any trap games for anybody in Eastern Dakota Conference this season, and so that's why this one should be so very good coming up here tonight. We're glad to bring it to you courtesy of Rivard's Turf and Forage and Grand Trailer Sales. And we thank you for joining us tonight for our pregame report, brought to you this evening by our friends at Signature Graphics and Apparel. It's your vision. Make it come to life at Signature Graphics and Apparel. And True North Equipment, true to your values, ready to serve you with 10 locations throughout the Red River Valley. Coming up, we'll hear from both head coaches. Tyler Klein, the head coach of the Fargo North Spartans. He'll join us in just a couple of moments. Grant Pernea, the head coach of the Knights, will be along on our pregame report as well. We'll also run down the complete standings right now with our drive for the title feature, our Eastern Dakota Conference look after the first couple of weeks of hockey. We'll take a look at the players to watch in this one and your starting lineups and the drop of the puck scheduled for 7 o'clock tonight here at Purpur Arena, and it should be a fun one. On the north side this evening, Grand Forks Central taking on Fargo North in an Eastern Dakota Conference showdown. Our coverage of high school hockey will continue next on the Rivard's Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
Rust, salt, and time are the biggest enemies for a fuel tank. Never fear, because Grand Forks Welding is here to take care of your enemies for you. We not only fix or patch your tanks, but we can custom fabricate any kind of replacement fuel tanks or service unit. Go to grandforkswelding.com.
Your family deserves clean, filtered water. High Plains Water offers Millennium Drink Water System, which delivers great tasting water and also eliminates harmful impurities. Professionally installed and maintained by High Plains Water of Grand Forks. See them at highplainswater.com.
Big Jim's Tire is the area's #1 farm and ag tire supplier, and with harvest here, you want the best. Best tires, best service, and Big Jim's will get it done fast to get you moving again. Big Jim's Tire, Grand Forks.
Today, the PS stands for proper service for your home, farm, or business, which is what you'll get from the team at PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks. Whether you need a door fixed or just thinking about replacing what you already have, get your proper service at psgaragedoors.com.
Nothing feels or performs better than a properly fitted golf club. Whether it's irons, driver, or putter, call us today for your free club fitting. For over 30 years, the Golf Center in Grand Forks has been your club fitting leader.
Valley Truck in East Grand Forks is proud to support our local high school athletes. With over 400 years of combined experience, they keep our community moving on and off the field. Trusted repairs, quality parts, and support for the next generation.
Pro Ag in Grand Forks and Grafton carries the equipment and parts on hand to make your farming operation run smooth. They carry all major brands like Honeybee, Alloway, Amity, Artex, Hardy, Capello, Monosem, Pickett, Wilrich, and Black Ace. So whether you're trading in, buying, or just need parts, go to ProAgEquip.com to see everything Pro Ag has to offer.
We very much take a lot of pride in our work. Customer service has always been our #1.
We have the best materials. You're going to have the best people in the area to do the job.
If you can dream it up, we can make it happen.
Or head to gworkslf.com to get started.
From tears in your car, truck, boat, or farm equipment seats to making boat covers or complete restorations of the interior of your hot rod, Finest Auto Trim in Grand Forks can make the inside of your rides look brand new. Big or small, Finest Auto Trim can cover it all. To get a quote, go to finestautotrim.com.
This is the KNOX pregame show. Brought to you by True North Equipment. True to your values, driven by you. And Signature Graphics and Apparel. Make your vision come to life.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey this evening on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network. KNOX Live Sports tonight from Purpura Arena. Grand Forks Central at home to take on Fargo North. 3 big points in the Eastern Dakota Conference standings are on the line this evening for a Grand Forks Central team that finds themselves a shade outside of first place in the Eastern Dakota Conference in a league that is very, very competitive so far. We welcome you to our pregame report tonight, brought to you by Signature Graphics and Apparel and True North Equipment. Signature Graphics and Apparel, it's your vision. Make it come to life at Signature Graphics and Apparel. You'll find them on the Point or just by the Point Bridge in East Grand Forks. They can take a number of custom types of materials, and with custom etching, they can affix it to any sort of apparel that you're looking for. It really makes your logo pop. Wood, plastic, metal. Seen the process in action, and it's a good one, and it's sound and durable. And beyond that, they can take care of silk printing. They can take care of screen printing, the custom embroidery, and the vinyl signage at Signature Graphics and Apparel. And True North Equipment, true to your values, ready to serve you with 10 locations in the Red River Valley. They're the home of the John Deere products that you've come to know and love generationally throughout our time here in North Dakota. And whether it's sales or service, they want to make sure that your operation continues strong. True North Equipment, true to your values, ready to serve you with 10 locations in the Red River Valley. The top half of the league separated by a point or 2 after the early salvos in the Eastern Dakota Conference, and we will get to drive for the title coming up in a moment. But first, tonight, we had the chance to catch up with Tyler Klein, the head coach of the Fargo North Spartans, coming into this one this evening. He's had an interesting offseason. Fargo North South, as it's technically known, new co-op. The South players separating from the Shanley players due to the dissolution of that co-op. And now North and South are together in boys hockey. We talked about the merger coming together. We talked about how this Eastern Dakota Conference has been wild to start the season. Coach, here you are in Grand Forks again. And I know in talking with some folks from Grand Forks Central, they feel like this Spartan team always gets up to play in this building to get a win over a Grand Forks team like Grand Forks Central. It's easy to get guys excited about tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, you know it is, and God, I don't want to give out too many secrets here, but I think we've been working on this game for 4 or 5 days now and kind of pulling clips from all those years that you talk about and trying to show guys that it doesn't matter what Spartan team it is, it doesn't matter what Central team it is, the same foundational, simple plays work. So through that, you can almost pull some intimidation out of the game and just get set for, yeah, that guy did it, I can do it the same way, and that's what's helped us prepare, and I think that's what's going to get us ready and get us going tonight.
One of the storylines that you had this year was the inheriting of some new personnel with the co-op between Fargo North and Fargo South. How did that come together, and how have you seen that mesh together on the ice so far this season?
Yeah, it moved fast, right? Like, it all started state tournament last year. And then that's when the conversation and even rumor, whatever people thought it was going to be started to happen. In June, July, when we were skating, we started putting the pieces together, and we were with those guys, and really positive. I think guys just jumped right in. And the thing that people forget here, like, these guys all grew up playing together, so it's not a whole lot different there. And we're trying to plug guys into, like, our foundation, our structure, our system. We have a really good group of kids, whether they're North players, they're South players, everyone's contributing. We're young, but I think that's allowing us to create a new identity, and it's been fun. It's been a good start to the season for us.
You had one stumble, and it was in overtime against Grafton Park River. They're to you what you might be to Grand Forks Central, right? They're going on the road trying to get a win too, and I guess we found out this league is unpredictable this year.
Oh, I just think it, right? You're right. I mean, it's hard to win in the EDC any night, no matter who you are. I think that makes for a great foundation for all of our players across the state, but it also teaches our young team to go, like, boys, we can't put our sticks on the ice. We have to practice a certain way and have that bleed into our game a certain way. So it helped us prepare. I think we learned from it, right? It's not the outcome that we wanted, but it's the outcome we got based on how we played. So we're young. We're getting better every day. We're learning, right? And it'll be good for our group, and we're excited about this one tonight.
Coach, you said that you've been working on this game for about 5 days. When you see a team like Central with the front-end depth that they have, how do you start structuring your game plan? What have you worked on for 5 days to get ready for tonight?
Yeah, I think it's showing guys that everyone knows the opponent, right? And you can hear the hockey chatter around North Dakota, and a lot of it does revolve around Grand Forks and Grand Forks Central, and that's okay. And like I said, we tried to pull super simple clips that appeared to be low skill, but turned out to be really good opportunities for us. And just to show guys, like, it's not about the highlight reels that are really difficult to pull off. It's about the everyday plays that no one notices. And if we can pull off a bunch of those tonight and put forth as many of those plays at Central, we're going to get ourselves right into the hockey game.
It was fun to hear tonight the way that Tyler Klein decided to break down this Grand Forks Central Knights team and talk about some of the low-skill opportunities that Fargo North has had success with against Grand Forks Central in the past years. They played some really, really solid games against one another the past few years, and it's been a lot of fun to watch these rivalries come together. Now, can they make it come together into a regular season win tonight? And it's a valuable win when we take a look at our conference standings with drive for the title tonight. And we see, as you take a look through this, that right now Fargo North is 2 points out of first place, and they're sitting in sixth place in the Eastern Dakota Conference. I mean, that's how competitive it's been on the top half. West Fargo, Cheyenne, and Grand Forks Red River, both with 6 points, and so does Devils Lake have 6 points. Now, Devils Lake played a very strong game against Central. Cheyenne came to town and beat up Red River rather handily, and then they got beat by Devils Lake in a couple of games that maybe the Firebirds weren't expected to be as competitive in. They've really shown us at the beginning of the season that they want to be a contender, three-way tie for first place in the Eastern Dakota Conference. Central with 5 points, not 6. Why? Fargo Davies dragged one out of here by forcing a game into overtime, and that's why Davies currently has 4 along with Fargo North. So the top half of this league, the top 6 separated by just a couple of points. West Fargo's on the board with the win in the league. Grafton Park River, an overtime win. They've got 2 points right now. Shanley, nothing as of yet as far as league scoring. Mayport will not play for points in the Eastern Dakota Conference this year. They'll take the automatic number 9 when they come in, or rather number 10 when they come into the Eastern Dakota Conference tournament. Tonight, Devils Lake at West Fargo. If Devils Lake wants to be a contender, that's a place where they have to go on the road and win that game. Davies is across town, as we mentioned tonight. Fargo Shanley plays at Grafton Park River. We'll find out a little bit about what Shanley retains, along with gains in their new co-op with a couple of Moorhead schools as well, as Grafton Park River tries to play strong at home. And Fargo North is here tonight to take on Grand Forks Central. Now, as a look at our drive for the title this evening, when we come back at our pregame report, we'll take a look at the players to watch in this one with our tools for the game, and we'll also catch up with the head coach of Grand Forks Central and the Knights, Grant Pernea. That as we continue our pregame coverage tonight, brought to you by True North Equipment, true to your values, ready to serve you with 10 locations, and Signature Graphics and Apparel. It's your vision. Make it come to life at Signature Graphics and Apparel. This is our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, at KNOX Live Sports.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting someone who pays attention to the little things that make a big difference. And to keep your family cool this summer, it takes Bryant.
Connect with Thermal Air today, your Bryant certified dealer.
In Grand Forks, it's about more than just where you live. It's
It's about the people you trust when life happens.
At Logan Karski State Farm, we're proud to protect what matters most. I'm Logan Karski with State Farm, and we'd be honored to be your good neighbor.
When the lights go out, count on the pros. Bergstrom Electric in Grand Forks, the area's largest full-service electrical contractor. From commercial builds to homes, they're trusted for quality, safety, and award-winning work. Call today, 701-775-8897.
When you need the right part for your pickup, head to Northwood or call Mike's Custom Truck. Amanda will drop ship any part you need. Turbos, upgraded fuel pumps, Edge products, and more. Mike's Custom Truck, 587-6335.
Nelson Auto in Grand Forks is proud to sponsor area athletics. We know the value of a good team, and we'd like to invite you in to meet our team. See how our team takes care of you and your family. Nelson Auto in Grand Forks, home to Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
Hey, this is Pastor Paul. I'd like to welcome you to Hope Church, especially if you're a person that doesn't have a place where you hang out spiritually. We would love for you to come and experience hope and find God. Hope Church, 9, 10:30, and 6 p.m. on Sundays. For more information, you can check out gfhope.org.
Pick 6 for $19.99, a perfect meal for two.
That's gotta rhyme.
Well, how about munching on Pick 6, my mouth going yap, yap. People always staring at my wings, they go flap, flap. Dave is so surprised because he didn't know I rap. Pick 6 meal for two for $19.99.
H&S Electrical Services is proud to support local high school sports. From homes to industry, we deliver safe, reliable electrical solutions. Locally owned and operated, our skilled team ensures quality and service you can trust. H&S, trusted in your homes and businesses.
This is the KNOX pregame show, brought to you by True North Equipment, true to your values, driven by you, and Signature Graphics and Apparel. Make your vision come to life.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network. KNOX Live Sports tonight from Purpur Arena in Grand Forks. It's Grand Forks Central set to face Fargo North in a key Eastern Dakota Conference showdown that we'll have for you coming up this evening. We're going to take a look at our players to watch in this one tonight and then get a word from Grant Pernea as we continue our pregame report, brought to you tonight by Signature Graphics and Apparel. It's your vision, make it come to life at Signature Graphics and Apparel, and True North Equipment, true to your values and ready to serve you with 10 locations throughout the Red River Valley. Let's watch our players to watch, or take a look at our players to watch tonight with our tools for the game, brought to you this evening by Logan Karski, your State Farm insurance representative in Grand Forks. He's brand new to the area, and Logan Karski has the opportunity to put together a game plan to protect what's important to you. Home, auto, life, health, whatever it is that needs protecting, State Farm is there like a good neighbor, and Logan Karski is your newest neighbor in Grand Forks, bringing you the tools for the game tonight. For Fargo North, a leader that's been there for a couple of years, Peyton Rorick with 7 points, pacing the scoring this season for the Spartans. Alex McComb and Elijah Inger. We've seen these guys before. They're now having an opportunity to step into enhanced roles with Fargo North, and they've shown up so far, each of them with 4 goals in 4 games this season, so good production from both McComb and Inger. For Grand Forks Central, Rylan Spicer currently has the scoring lead. You'll see a misprint on your screen. It's 8 points on the season for Rylan Spicer, 5 goals and 3 assists on the year. Shea Kwame with 3 goals and an assist, and Ryder Rivard 2 goals and 3 assists. Also right there is Cooper DeZiel. DeZiel hasn't scored as much as he would like, but certainly has had points. He's been helping out with a lot of the opportunities that other players have had to come up with scoring opportunities, and is in the assist column. But I know that right now Cooper DeZiel's trying to jumpstart his offensive game, and there's a lot of front-end offensive talent for this Grand Forks Central Knights team as they come out tonight. Those will be a few of the principles to watch as they get started this evening. And that's a look at our tools for the game that we have tonight, brought to you by Logan Karski, your State Farm insurance representative in Grand Forks. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. We were joined earlier tonight by Grant Pernea, the head coach of Grand Forks Central. One of the unique opportunities that we talked about with him is the ability to practice after having the game with Grand Forks Central wiped out due to weather the first time around back on Tuesday last week. They haven't played in about a week and a half, something like 12 days. And so he remarked on that. And we also talked about how topsy-turvy the Eastern Dakota Conference has been in the first couple of weeks of the season. Coach, You come home in a wild and crazy Eastern Dakota Conference race. It seems like the first couple of weeks have not gone according to plan for just about anybody. And so here we go. You're ready to go into a night where really you can't take anybody for granted right now.
Well, for sure. I mean, it's just been shown anybody can beat anybody right now. And I know it's still early in the season, but at the same time, you know, there's a lot of teams that are sharp, a lot of teams that are playing well, and we want to be amongst those.
Let's talk a little bit about where you've been as of late. You've had a couple of close scrapes. Fargo Davies, overtime win. Felt good to get out of there with a win. You felt some adversity in that game, and you overcame it. That had to have been a good test for your team.
Yeah, it was. It was a good feeling. I mean, you know, we had the game. I thought we had that game, you know, kind of in control in our hands, and then in the third period, we kind of let it slip away, and it spiraled out of control, and next thing you knew, we were in a dogfight. But, yeah, the encouraging part about that is you know, being able to kind of regain our composure, get back to doing what we do well, and coming up with the win.
Coach, you haven't played for a while here. You had the game with Grand Forks Red River wiped out, and you didn't have anything scheduled after that. So now it's been a long layoff. What concerns you about that situation coming into tonight?
Yeah, it's been 12 days. It feels like forever, but you know, just that we're sharp and we haven't lost our edge, and there's not much you can do about it other than, you know, keep working hard in practice and you know, holding yourselves accountable on the details of the game and you know, battling hard there just like you would in a game. So, you know, hopefully we've done that over the past 12 days, and we'll find out tonight, I guess.
And then Fargo North, everybody's giving you their best game right now. North's not going to be any different. Team that kind of came together, and they've had some bumps, so you're probably going to face a hungry and maybe even a little desperate hockey team tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we know they play hard, they play structured, they play well, and, you know, they're well coached, so they've always kind of given us a hard time, and you know, it should just be a great battle because of that. You know, we want to improve our hard areas of the game, and this is a good team to do it against. So they've only lost one game, I guess, to Grafton in overtime. So, you know, they're 1 point behind us in the standings, and you know, to keep up with the pack, we've got to play well tonight.
Grant Pernea, the head coach of the Grand Forks Central Knights, joining us tonight. Our coaches' conversations with Tyler Klein and Grant Pernea, both brought to you this evening by Acme Equipment and Acme Tools. They're your Kubota dealers with a full line of Kubota products to help you do your very best work in Grand Forks. You can find their Kubota products across from Simplot on Gateway, whether it's skid steer loaders, diggers, loaders, great snow moving equipment if you're looking to upgrade. They have you covered at Acme Equipment and Acme Tools. Stop and see their inventory whenever you're on Gateway Drive in Grand Forks, right across from Simplot. And for those of you that are do-it-yourselfers, you need that extra tool to get the project done, their main tool shop on North Washington, just a couple of blocks south of Gateway, has you covered. And they've got a great service department to make it run again as well. Acme Equipment and Acme Tools, they bring you our coaches' conversations throughout the course of the season. And our thanks to Tyler Klein, the head coach of Fargo North, for catching up with us this evening, along with the head coach of Grand Forks Central, Grant Pernea, for joining us tonight as well. And, you know, the comments from both of those head coaches, rather interesting for tonight. They both are convinced that this Eastern Dakota Conference is certainly something that hasn't shaken itself out yet. For Grand Forks Central, they've lost 1 point they probably feel like they wanted. They had a 3-1 lead in that matchup over Fargo Davies, and a major penalty allowed the Eagles to score twice in the all-you-can-eat and force overtime, and that allowed Fargo Davies to take a point out of Grand Forks, and those points can be big at the end of the season. Obviously, we're going to find out a little bit more about where Grand Forks Central is at in this one when we get a little bit closer towards the weekend when they play Grand Forks Red River coming up on Saturday. That's definitely going to be an interesting task that Grand Forks Central will have there. But for Fargo North tonight, I don't know if you'd call this a measuring stick game. Perhaps it is. You're up against what the state believes is the best to offer in high school hockey night in and night out. But North has been there before. Tyler Klein has had teams here that have had Grand Forks Central on the brink at times. And so they're looking for that big win with this young group. And he did mention that he's got some youth out there as well. And when you have that and you're dealing with that situation for Fargo North, you're learning the ropes as you go. The interesting thing about the Spartans is that when you're not senior heavy, you have the opportunity to have a little bit of a higher ceiling out there. And by the end of the year, you're maybe not the same team that you were at the beginning of the year. Andrew Schultz is a first-line right winger. He's going to be a sophomore coming into this matchup. They've got 2 sophomores on their second line tonight, a sophomore and a sophomore, third and fourth lines this evening. They got a fourth line full of sophomores out there, and their starting goaltender is a junior. Back on the blue line, they've got just 2 seniors, and they've got 3 sophomores going back in the defensive end. So again, for Fargo North, there's a lot on the line tonight, but if you're Tyler Klein, you're probably committing to a process here, because you've got young players that are learning the ropes as they go. And like we mentioned, there's a chance for them to be very different at the end of the season than they were at the beginning of the year. Those are our coaches' comments that we have for you tonight in our pregame report. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the keys for the game for both of these teams tonight, brought to you by Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Let's find out what both of these teams have to do to try to be successful tonight. Our keys to the game are on the way in a couple of moments, so do stay with us. This is our coverage of high school hockey. It's Grand Forks Central and Fargo North on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
It's game day, and whether you're feeding the family or the entire team, Hugo's is the place to go. Score big with favorites from the meat department, delicious fresh veggies, and don't forget about the bakery to celebrate the big win. Hugo's Family Marketplace, your game day headquarters.
Thief River Glass handles it all. Aluminum storefronts, auto glass, windows, shower enclosures, and more. Just like our athletes, we're built for every season. No job is too big or too small. Call 218-681-1333 for year-round dependable service.
When you're looking for a change of pace, a change of routine, or a change of scenery, we'll help you find what's next. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. For you, for life.
Ready to launch your future? At Northland Community and Technical College, opportunity starts here. Train for high-demand technical and skilled trades, or start with an affordable Associates of Arts degree and transfer with ease. Visit northlandcollege.edu.
The Kubota BX Series, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. Talk to your Kubota dealer to schedule a demo.
For expert sales and service, visit Acme Equipment or online at acmekubota.com.
The body shop you work with is your choice, so pick the local team with the service you trust. Modern Auto Body in Grand Forks can make it look like the accident never happened. Schedule an appointment for an estimate on our website or give us a call.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivards Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Go to rivards.com.
Rivals on the ice, united in the stands, and everyone's geared up from Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Hockey gear, fan apparel, Nodak Pride, we've got it all and more. Locally owned, 1004 South Washington Street. Shop local, shop Jarrell's.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, GrandTrailersales.com.
This is the KNOX pregame show, brought to you by True North Equipment, true to your values, driven by you, and Signature Graphics and Apparel. Make your vision come to life.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey tonight in the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network. KNOX Live Sports this evening from Purple Arena and the home of the Grand Forks Central Knights as the Knights get set to take on Fargo North and the Spartans this evening. Our coverage brought to you this evening by Rivards Turf and Forage, a premium seed dealer in Grand Forks. Find all of their products, including their premium ice melt products, at rivards.com. Those have become very important as of late. And Grand Trailer Sales, your home for all things trailer in East Grand Forks. If it's time to upgrade that trailer for another, I guess, spring and summer coming up here, obviously the winter right now is what it is, but if you need to get those in for repair, they have you covered there as well. New trailer, every make and model, great service department at Grand Trailer Sales, and they're there to make sure that you're taken care of. Grand Trailer Sales, your home for all things trailer in East Grand Forks. Let's take a look at our keys for the game that we have this evening. They're brought to you by Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Stop in and see what's new for the season at Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Let's start with the keys to the game tonight for the Fargo North Spartans, and those keys involve around being fundamentally sound. You heard a lot from Tyler Klein in the pregame report about playing to their system, playing to their structure. That's something that when Fargo North is in structure, they're a stronger hockey team. And so playing fundamentally sound will be a big, big opportunity. And then capitalizing on power plays. It's something Fargo Davies did. They had the opportunity to put a couple of goals in the net when Grand Forks Central took a penalty or two. And at times, this Knights team has come a little bit out of their structure. So you get the opportunity perhaps to go on the power play a bit more often, and that'll be a huge part of this tonight for Fargo North. If they've got a chance to go on the man advantage, they'll have to be very aggressive in that regard. Keys the game tonight for the home team, the Grand Forks Central Knights here this evening. And the keys for Central, it's time to get nasty, but it's also discipline nasty. This team has not yet shown you what they're capable of, and in part because they may be a little unsure of what their combinations are. They may be a little unsure as to how they want to play the game, but this is a team from Grand Forks Central that has the ability to be physical. You take a look at Trey Clausen on the third line, centering that line. That is a physical player that can get out there and get it done. Cooper DeZiel knows how to play the game with a lot of speed. Gavin Walkenfuss isn't afraid to hit anybody. And so this is a team that can be more physical than they are. Now, I know they don't want to take a lot of penalties. We've already talked about that. But it's time to get nasty, but get nasty in a way where it's disciplined nasty for Grand Forks Central. That's a big part of what this looks like tonight for Grand Forks Central. Keys the game, brought to you by Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. They have every stick, every pad, every instrument of the game that you're looking to improve with or get started with at Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. And I'll say it again, when I've been there with my kids, I'm so very impressed with the service that you get at Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. And the precision skate sharpening, it puts the fine edge on it every time. Stop in and see them on South Washington, Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World, bringing you our keys for the game tonight. Final break in our pregame report. When we come back, it's time to announce the starting lineup, so get ready for the national anthem and get ready to throw the puck down on this one, and it should be a good one tonight. Grand Forks Central, Fargo North, it's next on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
Signature Graphics in East Grand Forks is your one-stop shop for all your branding and design needs. From embroidery, vinyl wrapping, laser print, and more, fully customized from start to finish, all in-house. Signature Graphics, we craft your vision, you watch it come to life.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
It's hard to explain what this feels like. We could try to put it into words, but nothing compares to experiencing it for yourself. You just have to get in the seat.
Visit True North Equipment at any of our 10 locations or at www.truenorthequipment.com.
Spray Advantage of Grand Forks carries everything you need for the chemical and fertilizer application on your farm. Pumps, tips, and tanks from 3 gallons all the way up to 10,000 gallons on hand. They can help with parts and accessories for the fertilizer and tillage equipment on your farm too. SprayAdvantage.com.
Apex Apparel is your quick turnaround apparel and promotional item shop in Grand Forks. If you're looking for direct-to-garment printing, embroidery work, or a huge selection of promotional items, come to Apex Apparel, your locally owned, family-run, quick turnaround apparel shop in Grand Forks.
The Ski and Bike Shop in Grand Forks. Gear up for ski season or hit the trails on a fat tire bike. At the Ski and Bike Shop, we offer top brands, ski and snowboard service, and everything you need for cold weather fun. The Ski and Bike Shop in Grand Forks, where your next adventure begins.
This is the KNOX pregame show, brought to you by True North Equipment, true to your values, driven by you. And Signature Graphics and Apparel. Make your vision come to life.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey tonight at the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports this evening from Purpur Arena here in Grand Forks as we get set for Fargo North and Grand Forks Central in a key Eastern Dakota Conference matchup tonight. Thank you for joining us for our pregame report brought to you by Signature Graphics and Apparel and True North Equipment. Let's take a look at our starting lineups for tonight's matchup. First of all, the visitors, the Fargo North Spartans. The goaltender tonight is Dominic Crocker. The defenseman will be Holden Everly in the left point, Connor Long in the right point. The forwards tonight, Peyton Rorick will take him out with Andrew Schultz on his right wing and Elijah Inger on his left wing. Tyler Klein is the head coach of the Fargo North Spartans. For Grand Forks Central and the Knights, under head coach Grant Pernea. Starting lineup, the starting goaltender is Weston Nielsen. Starting defensive pair will be Logan Bina on the right point and Wyatt Blake on the left point. And the forwards tonight, Cooper DeSeal will bring them out with Che Kwame on his right wing and Ryder Rivard on his left wing. And that's the starting lineup tonight for Grand Forks Central, again under head coach Grant Pernea. Just taking a look through some of the, I guess, particulars in this one for Grand Forks Central. We start talking about the youth for Fargo North and how this really compares tonight. Now, you go to the Fargo North Spartans' third line, and you've got a sophomore, a junior, and a junior. You get down to Grand Forks Central's third line, 3 seniors on the third line. Trey Clausen, Brady Kirkaby, and Jacob Spicer, all 3 seniors playing on the third line. I mean, it tells you where that top-end depth is for Grand Forks Central. The place where they've been learning the game a little bit on the fly has been on their blue line as well. Grand Forks Central has 3 sophomores back on the blue line. Logan Bean is on one pair, Bodie Burris is on another, and Carson Cutterba is on a third pair. Now, Carson Cutterba got plenty of time this year when it comes down to the opportunity of playing varsity football. But, yeah, it's one of those things where obviously that's an interesting situation that we have coming into this one tonight. We're going to take a look at our flag as we bring you our national anthem that we have here for you tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, you'll see the national or the American flag off in the distance, and we'll bring you the sounds of the national anthem for this one tonight as we get ready for the start of this one this evening, our national anthem.
Good luck to both teams, and let's play hockey. Tonight's official, the referees Steve Howe, Alex Martinson, and Brooks Anderson.
All right, the particulars are over in this one. Let's go ahead and play hockey. Grand Forks Central 3-1 on the season. Their lone loss was to East Grand Forks, and it was over there in the Gambucci Cup Series. They'll get another chance at the Green Wave coming up later this season. Fargo North, a 3-0-0-1 record. Their lone loss was in overtime, and it was at the hands of the Grafton Park River Spoilers. Otherwise, they're untouched at this point as well, and they're looking to try to find their way up the Eastern Dakota Conference standings, and this one is always a good battle between these two teams, and we're looking forward to it being just that coming up tonight here at Purpur Arena. I wouldn't say that it's a grudge match, but it certainly is a rivalry, and for those of you that might be taking this in from Fargo tonight, Tyler Klein is just one of the good ones. Ryan Kuntz, my normal broadcast partner, who's over at Red River tonight. His daughter is skating between pier hits over there, so that's the direction he had to go in this evening. But Tyler Klein is just one of those that Ryan Kuntz speaks very highly of. They've got a Team North Dakota connection. They do things in the offseason to try to develop hockey players, and we're always impressed in talking with Tyler, and so he knows how to bring a good rivalry to bear tonight. It'll be Rorick versus DeZiel on the opening draw, and Grand Forks Central will take control of the puck to start the game. A play up the near wall to Ryder Rivard on the left, and Rivard will chip it into the corner. Connor Long is back for Fargo North. Couldn't get there to make the defensive play, and a slap shot whizzes by from Logan Bina off that left point. The Knights try to hold the offensive end. The puck is caught, player brought down. They're going to play through that. Central wanted a tripping call, didn't get it, but DeZiel comes up with the puck in the left corner and tries to skate it back up the wall. It's be played back out to the neutral zone and taken back by Logan Bina. Grand Forks Central tries to once again claim the offensive end. Then they lost possession. Schultz will bring it up into the offensive end for Fargo North. And the Spartans look to change up behind it. Up the ice quickly, Ryder Rivard trying to catch them in the line change. Rivard's out there at the end of his shift, and Rivard puts a big hit in the far corner, leveling Leighton Olson in the far corner for the Fargo North Spartans. Puck back out behind the net. Matthew Haugo will bring it back. Haugo had it, has it chipped back out to the high slot, and the Spartans, Alex McComb trying to get to it. McComb will bring it back up into the offensive end. This will float into the far corner. Knights back to try to pick it up. Trey Clausen looking to play it up the far wall. And the Knights will come back off the near side. Gavin Walkenfuss will play it up into the neutral zone. Ryland Spicer coming up ice. Got tripped up as he got to the high slot. Works back towards the left point. Bodie Burris trying to play one down. Burris had it along the wall. Plays it back into the corner. A play for it off that left side for Leighton Olson of Fargo North, trying to play it back out. Quick turn and fire wide of the net. That was a good shot that time from Spicer with a lot of velocity. Just ends up going wide. Spicer, the leading scorer on this Grand Forks Central Knights team, and playing off that second line in the winger spot. Loose puck back out near side. McComb trying to play it back into the neutral zone. Now he'll skate through the zone, fires one in from the right side. Weston Nielsen will stop it wide of the net and tries to transition back towards the right side and does. This will be played back to the neutral zone. Spicer catches up to it. Now it's Clausen back out in front looking for a feed. It's out in front of the net, and a tap in by Walkenfuss ends up hitting the side of the cage. That was a good play by Clausen to open up a window, but in the long run, the puck ends up going just wide after the tap from Walkenfuss hit the side of the cage. He had lost just a bit of the angle on that play. Central back in their own end, trying to dig one out. We're still scoreless on the all-true scoreboard. Carson Cutterba looking up on the right side of the ice. He'll come back to center, plays it off towards the near wing and found Brady Kirkaby. Kirkaby laying one off far edge, had it deflect back to him. Wrister from the high slot over the net. Loose puck back left side. Clausen trying to fight through contact. Ends up losing the puck back into the corner. A step back for Kirkaby looking to find control. North will clear this to the neutral zone. We may get an icing call, and we will. So a stoppage in play with 14:21 to play in the opening period. For those of you that are viewing tonight, we do know that we have a couple of camera difficulties that we're trying to remedy right now. We'll get through that here as we continue along, but you can see kind of a slope in the way that camera's working, but that's because we had an awkward setup here today getting ready for 3 games, and we'll try to fix that view for you. I can see that we're working on that literally as we speak at this point. Cooper DeZiel will take the draw for Grand Forks Central versus Peyton Rorick out of the icing call. Draws brought to you tonight by Big Jim's Tire and also by Apex Apparel. Back in the neutral zone, Rorick up ice for North, and an offside call. Spartans were in the offensive end a bit too soon. It was Andrew Schultz that was up ahead of the play on the near side. And we'll draw on the Grand Forks Central line. We'll draw on the right edge of the Grand Forks Central line. It's Rorick and DeZiel that will take the drop once again. And DeZiel wins it, sends it back towards the left side. Wyatt Blake looking to control it. Blake takes a look up through the neutral zone, pass off towards the right, is able to find Che Kwame. This works back to DeZiel, high slot, big hit out in the middle. Kwame trying to go short-sided, ends up having a puck knocked loose. Rivard received the puck, was able to dig it back towards the net. Kwame, actually, DeZiel reaches in, puts a hit on a Spartan to free it up, but this works back out to Rorick on the left wall, and now Rorick coming up the ice, got a step on Blake, is cut off by Bina, then fired a shot from the left side, and Nielsen will watch that one go by. Puck comes back to the near boards. Bina will pick it up. Bina trying to work back out, but it ends up being deflected back to Blake behind the Grand Forks Central net. Near side, a look up the ice for Rivard. That was lost. Goes back into the neutral zone. Bina stepping back to the neutral zone. Plays one down the far side. And a touch up behind the net for Dominic Crocker, the goaltender tonight for Fargo North. This works back towards the near point. A step in by Henning Gibbs. The fourth line comes on the ice for Central. Sam Presting in the corner. Gibbs fighting for control behind the Spartan net. Bodie Burris from the left drives one in wide of the net. Crocker may have lost that one. Was a bit surprised to pick it up behind him off the end wall. We played back to the neutral zone. Another icing call coming up against the Spartans. 13:01 to play. Our draw is brought to you tonight by Apex Apparel, your hometown quick turnaround, family-owned and operated promotional shop in Grand Forks, and brought to you this evening as well by Big Jim's Tire, your #1 supplier of ag tires in the region. Sam Presting will take the draw for Grand Forks Central. He'll work against Henry Witschick, who takes the draw for Fargo North. Puck will come back towards the near edge and attempt to hold it in by Bodie Burris, but spot through the neutral zone or to the neutral zone by Skylar Burkhardt. Third liner's getting an opportunity for Fargo North. It's been a physical game so far. Central's had a bit more offensive zone time, but only maybe one grade A chance so far. The Spartans have played a rather defensive game so far, and a rather, I guess you could say, positive game when it comes down to staying in that structure that we talked about at the beginning of the matchup tonight. Mason Bensley for Grand Forks Central plays one out in the neutral zone. Nolan Marto will pick it up. Marto trying to widen out against traffic in the right corner. Behind the net, looking to send one in short, out on top of the crease. Gets the loose puck back to him. Sends it back off towards the right side, or rather side. Shot into traffic coming from Logan Nielsen that ends up being deflected. A retreat back by Cutterba. He slams one wide of the net. And Walkenfuss is over to pick it up in the corner for Grand Forks Central. Walkenfuss sends it back behind the net, and a loose puck is grabbed there by Levi Trulika, who comes on the ice as a defender for Fargo North. Knights back in the neutral zone, playing one through. Cutterba has one deflect off the stick and ends up drifting back behind the Fargo North net. It's loose back there. A fight for Ryland Spicer digging after the puck. Spicer turns. Walkenfuss trying to slam one in short-sided. Loose behind the net again. Spicer comes back to pick it up. Comes out towards the near side. Plays it back to point. It's taken there by Kaysen Panzer. A drive from the right point by Cutterba that goes wide. And the Spartans look to cut it off. Connor Long got it back in the neutral zone. Marto picks it away for Grand Forks Central. Retreats and starts back up the ice for the Knights. Marto driving in, pulls around a defender, backhand flip that hit the side of the net. Crocker stayed with it. Good play for Crocker, but Marto showing off some work, trying to find an opening. Loose puck to Spicer in the corner. He'll play it back towards the near side, finding Walkenfuss. Chip off the wall to the point for Kaysen Panzer. Back behind the net for Spicer for Central. He'll come off the boards. Blake on the right point, holding one in. Now into the corner, they find Trey Clausen. Clausen kicks one free. Blake steps in, trying to maintain control. Comes out along the wall and has it taken right off a stick from behind that time by Logan Nielsen. Nielsen coming up the ice, rips a snapshot off the left, and a save by Nielsen. He'll deflect one back towards the end wall, and Central comes back on the back check. Puck will come back towards the right side for Henry Woodchick. It'll be played back into the neutral zone. Loose right along the center line. That ends up back in the Fargo North zone. Gavin, rather not Walkenfuss, but Andrew Schultz back on the ice for Fargo North to come up with a takeaway. Central going through the neutral zone. Clausen has one banged loose, so it'll come back towards the left edge. Kirkeby had it, lost it. This will drift past Wyatt Blake and ends up back in the Grand Forks Central end. Off the left side, a touch-up coming that time from Clausen. Clausen driving his way in, makes a pass back towards the crease, looking for pressure from Kirkeby down the center. Ends up going wide. Kirkeby stays with the puck in the corner, gets into a duel there for control, and it's knocked loose by Matthew Haugo for Fargo North. He got through the neutral zone, but it's chipped off his stick quickly by Logan Nielsen, and the Knights are back up in the offensive end. 9:50 to play in the opening period, scoreless on the all-true scoreboard. Puck deflected back towards the end wall. Connor Long will take it. Now it's Alex McComb. McComb up the ice, has a shot blocked. Got that miss. Deflected back to him in the right circle. Tried to get another way and got pulled down in the process. Puck will come back out towards the near end. Played up the near side wall for Central by Kirkeby. A stick goes broken and flailing in the air. Meanwhile, the puck goes back to Central. It's picked up on the defensive end by Connor Long. He'll drive back to the neutral zone. Nielsen chips it off the near side wall. A battle for control right along the Fargo North line. It comes back with Long momentarily, but then drifts back into the Fargo North zone a bit deeper. They try to come back into the neutral zone. It's picked up by Jack Barch, and Fargo North's Barch will dump it back into the Grand Forks Central end. Get a media stoppage coming up on the next deck. Puck on the near side, Rivard coming into the neutral zone, trying to find help with Henning Gibbs. We'll see a whistle there, and that should bring us to the media timeout that we'll have with 8:54 to play in the opening period. We're scoreless on the all-true scoreboard, only 3 shots so far. Stoppage for Big Jim's Tire and Apex Apparel, and we're back with more in a couple of moments. Stay with us.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivard's Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Go to rivards.com.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivard's Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. We'll have a penalty that'll be enforced here at the 8:06 mark of the opening period. We didn't see what this penalty is for, but Colin Holt is going to go into the box for Fargo North. So it'll be Holt that goes into the box. The time of the penalty will be at 8:06. And Grand Forks Central is going to resume play on the power play. Brought to you by RBB Electric, on call, on time, and online, rbbelectric.com. So the Knights go on the man advantage here with a scoreless matchup and only 3 shots on goal combined in the first 8 minutes and change of hockey. But Central puts the power play on the ice for the first time tonight. Rivard, right side to Kwame, trying to step around defenders. Does, plays it back to the slot. Walken puts to the drive. That goes wide of the net. Rivard picks up the loose puck. He'll turn it back. Actually, correction, that was Spicer on that shot. Rivard gets away, takes a pass across the ice. Nielsen picks up a deflection high slot and then lost the puck off his stick and ends up losing the offensive end. Central will come back up into the offensive zone. Nielsen trying to toe drag around a defender, attacks the goal. Crocker took that one off the side as he fell backwards. The loose puck picked up by Che Kwame. He'll come out high slot, passes off to the right circle. Now Rivard left circle, his drive deflected wide by Crocker. 1:05 left to the power play, brought to you by RBB Electric, still scoreless. Puck coming back near side, it's Rivard trying to go back across the ice. That's deflected loose and will be sent back into the Grand Forks Central zone. Knights over to pick it up with Nielsen. And Grand Forks Central will go back behind their own net. And once again try to come back up the ice on a rush with 40 seconds left to go of the power play. A little backhand shot that goes wide. A step at it off the left side for a follow-up by Logan Bina that's lost. And Fargo North will again clear it. So the Knights have had a couple of rushes. They've had lots of activity on the power play. They haven't found the opportunity that they're looking for, at least as of yet. Puck comes back towards the right side. Wyatt Blake will play it up the ice. He goes off towards the right, finding Nolan Martel. One-timer by Clausen, he scores. Trey Clausen comes up with the opening goal tonight. It's a power play goal for Trey Clausen, and Grand Forks Central take a 1-0 lead. Time of the goal is at 9 minutes and 51 seconds. And Clausen likely from Martel on this situation. It looks like Martel will take the first assist. And Grand Forks Central is on the board first here tonight, and it will be a power play goal. Again, the time of the goal will be at 9 minutes and 51 seconds of the opening period. And Grand Forks Central takes a 1-0 lead in the matchup. And again, that power play goal, a big factor. We did not see what the penalty was against Colin Holt. It might have been too many men, and they chose Holt to serve the penalty. I don't believe the third line or the third pair of defenders had been out a lot. We had seen Trulica, but we hadn't really seen the presence of Colin Holt. Let's get the scoring on the goal. It'll be 17, Trey Clausen, we would expect. That'll be his first goal of the season. Nolan Martel picks up an assist. And Wyatt Blake will pick up an assist as well. It'll be Clausen from Martel and Blake on the power play at 9:51 to make it a 1-0 lead for Grand Forks Central over Fargo North. And we'll see a draw coming up in the Fargo North end after an icing call. 5 shots on goal now for Grand Forks Central, only 1 for Fargo North, which is an interesting part of this. You would have expected perhaps maybe a little bit more production so far, especially with the amount of time that Grand Forks Central has had up in the offensive end. Puck over towards the far side, and a hit on the backside of Grand Forks Central's Kaysen Panzer. But Panzer will play it back out into the neutral zone. This comes along the near side. Boards Kirkaby's there. Clausen trying to rush into the circle, pulls around a defender, got back behind the net, but Connor Long was there to cut off Clausen. Then Clausen goes to work on Lon and frees the puck into the near corner. Kirkaby's there to chase it down. Back to Clausen, who gets stood up on a hit behind the net by Levi Trulica. Out in front, drive coming in that time. That one came off the left-hand point, and it came from Carson Cutterba, and a chance goes wide of the net on a one-timer as Central starts to play a little bit looser. Another chance driven into traffic, that time from the right point. And that one came off that right side from Logan Nielsen. And a battle for control of the corner again. Clausen a hit. Loose puck is scooped up by Jacob Spicer behind the play. Then he lost handle, and Jack Barch will bring it back for Fargo North. He goes looking for Long, and Long will drive one into the right corner. 5:20 to play opening period. It's a 1-0 lead for Grand Forks Central over Fargo North. on the All-True scoreboard. Scoreboard updates are brought to you by All-True. Regular screenings with All-True's care team can detect illness before symptoms begin. Stay in the game of wellness. Schedule an appointment. Visit alltrue.org or call 780-5000. Puck loose back behind the play. Loose puck is gathered up on the left side by Leighton Olsen for Fargo North. Olsen will try to bring it back out. It's turned around on the right by DeZiel. DeZiel lost handle of the puck, but it was scooped up behind him. Now loose in the circle. Rivard with a chance that goes wide of the net. Central has been all around a shot from long distance so far, but Peyton Rourke comes away with control. He'll play it to Elijah Inger for Fargo North. Inger tried to put one down to Rourke, and it was cut off. Good defensive position that time. Getting back was Che Kwame on the back check for Grand Forks Central. A little help from Bodie Burris on that play as well for the Knights. Burris coming out on the near side, playing off the near side wall. Puck cut off by Henry Witchick. He'll put it back towards the high slot for the Spartans. Skylar Burkhart coming back towards the right. A charge in by Witchick into the corner. Loose puck taken up by Nielsen. He flips on top of the Dashers, and a rip away defensively by Che Kwame, looking to come up the ice and start the rush. He's back towards the near side. Nearly had a chance with Walkenfuss. Walkenfuss struggled to receive the pass. Ends up chasing the puck down back behind the net. Spartans' Henry Witchick will come back with it. Witchick off the right side, coming up the ice quickly, looking to find help from Skylar Burkhart. Burkhart dumps one in the neutral zone, deflected. Nolan Marteau is after it. Loose puck back in the Fargo North zone. Marteau got to it in the corner. Great burst of speed. Looks behind him, tries to play one back to the corner. We had Spicer coming in. Walkenfuss will play it back to the point. Blank with a wrister, deflected wide. Back into the corner for Marteau. He handles back. Walkenfuss with a short sider. Ends up over the net into the corner. Retrieved back near point by Logan Bina. Now high slot. Spicer a drive again. Rebounded puck blasted up and over the net by Blake, and Central remains on the attack. It's Walkenfuss left side of the net. Marteau with the tapper. That ends up being deflected wide. And North will get it out to the neutral zone. They try to change with a very short line change. They're caught in it. A wrister deflected back, and a shot ends up in the glove of goaltender number 33, Dominic Crocker, with Gavin Walkenfuss bearing down on it. Wow. That was a heck of an offensive series for Grand Forks Central. And the Knights somehow come out of that without a goal. And it's hard to imagine why. They were all over the net. Peyton Rourke will take the draw against Mason Bensley. And the puck will end up over into the far corner. 3:05 left to play. During the intermission, folks, we'll have kind of a corrected camera. You'll hear just ambiance here, as we're going to go ahead and try to correct our camera difficulties that we have here this evening, and we apologize for that here in the opening period of hockey tonight. 1-0 Grand Forks Central on a power play goal here on the All-True scoreboard. Puck off the right side and picked up for Grand Forks Central by Carson Cutterba. Cutterba trying to fight his way back up into the neutral zone. It's be picked up on the far side. Grabbed by Central's Kaysen Panzer and pushed back to the left wall where Mason Bensley was waiting for it. North is back to get it. Levi Trulica will rotate back out towards the right wall. This will be dumped back up into the offensive end for North, but again, North making a change here, and we'll see an icing call. Shots are 9-1 in favor of Grand Forks Central. Draws tonight are brought to you by our friends at Big Jim's Tire. They're the #1 supplier of ag tires in the region. And brought to you tonight as well by Apex Apparel, your hometown quick turnaround, family-owned and operated promotional shop in Grand Forks. Knights win the draw. Snapper off the right side. Clausen in. Crocker had it in the glove, but didn't secure it. And a rebound drifts out into the slot. It'll be taken back into the left corner by North, and Henry Witchick will try to backhand it free into the far corner. Cut off there by Chase Larson. And Fargo North is really defensive right now. Everybody back in the circles and further south than that as Central continues to pour on the pressure here. Puck off the right side. Nielsen has it poke checked off his stick. Good play that time by Skylar Burkhart to stay with it. And again, North tries to change up. Central cherry picks with Clausen along the line. He looks to drift through from traffic. Got into the far circle. Played it back to Nielsen. Right point wrister hit the crossbar and deflects up into the crowd. So we'll step aside momentarily when we get to our intermission to fix up our camera, and then we will continue. We'll come back with our scoring summary. It'll be a little bit of a different intermission report that we have for you, trying to fix up those difficulties. But our intermission report will be brought to you tonight by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks. Nielsen, another wrister from the point, goes wide. Bodie Burris is over to cut it off, and this flops into the corner. A look there towards the left by Kirkaby, trying to hold on to control the puck. He's fronted by defensive pressure from Holden Erbely of Fargo North. This will work back out towards the left. Barch trying to come through the neutral zone. He got one to leak up the ice, and it's picked up on the rush by Connor Long. His chance. Weston Nielsen turns that aside. Loose puck picked up by Alex McComb. He turned it back into the neutral zone, and it pops over the stick of Barch. Right when Fargo North was going to get on the offensive cycle, a quick shot and then a mishandle, and the Knights have the puck back in the neutral zone as we approach a minute to play in this first period of hockey. Peyton Rorick for Fargo North circles one back behind his own net. It'll be picked up off the wall by McComb. He freed it, but Central comes away with possession. Then McComb got a hold of a loose puck on a pass to the corner for North, and he'll dribble one back into the neutral zone just beyond the line. Peyton Rorick will slam one down. They're going to wave off icing. 45 seconds to play, opening period. Puck on the right wall, and a quick turnaround there. Brings it back off to the high slot again. Rivard was there. A drive just about got through. Rivard picks it up. DeZiel tried to make a pass to Kwame, cashing the slot. Instead, it comes back to DeZiel on the wall. He dribbles one through, and Crocker watches that one go wide. Kwame stays with it into the corner. Central's done a lot of really good things battling for pucks tonight. They just don't have a lot of luck to show for it. Rorick gets free, drives himself into the corner, went on a steep angle and drove one wide into the far edge. Loose puck is picked up behind the play by Levi Trulica for the Spartans, and he'll leave it up against the wall where DeZiel will take control. 10 seconds left. Back in the far side, DeZiel rotates back to the near edge. Central playing catch behind their net with Bina, down to 2, down to 1, and that's the end of the opening period of play. After 1, it's Central 1, Fargo North nothing on the All True scoreboard. Our intermission report is on the way in a couple of moments, so stay with us again. You'll hear just some ambiance while we try to fix up some of the camera issues we're having tonight. We'll be back with more in a couple of moments on KNOX Live Sports.
And your first period total saves for Fargo North, Dominic Croker, 11. And for Grand Forks Central Knights, Weston Nielsen, 2.
All right, those of you that are still with us here in our web coverage tonight, we have obviously our camera situation remedied. We thank you for your patience with that tonight. We think things are going to be better second, third period. We're going to take a break in our intermission report. Again, brought to you tonight by Grand Forks Welding and Machine and High Plains Water. Come back with our scoring summary, a look at a first intermission summary as well. Do stay with us. Our coverage of high school hockey continues in just a moment on the Rivard Surf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. We've got more for you right after this.
Rust, salt, and time are the biggest enemies for a fuel tank. Never fear, because Grand Forks Welding is here to take care of your enemies for you. We not only fix or patch your tanks, but we can custom fabricate any kind of replacement fuel tanks or service unit. Go to grandforkswelding.com.
Your family deserves clean, filtered water. High Plains Water offers Millennium Drink Water System, which delivers great tasting water and also eliminates harmful impurities. Professionally installed and maintained by High Plains Water of Grand Forks. See them at highplainswater.com.
Big Jim's Tire is the area's #1 farm and ag tire supplier, and with harvest here, you want the best. Best tires, best service, and Big Jim's will get it done fast to get you moving again. Big Jim's Tire, Grand Forks.
Today, the PS stands for proper service for your home, farm, or business, which is what you'll get from the team at PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks. Whether you need a door fixed or just thinking about replacing what you already have, get your proper service at psgaragedoors.com.
Nothing feels or performs better than a properly fitted golf club. Whether it's irons, driver, or putter, call us today for your free club fitting. For over 30 years, the Golf Center in Grand Forks has been your club fitting leader.
Valley Truck in East Grand Forks is proud to support our local high school athletes. With over 400 years of combined experience, they keep our community moving on and off the field. Trusted repairs, quality parts, and support for the next generation.
Pro Ag in Grand Forks and Grafton carries the equipment and parts on hand to make your farming operation run smooth. They carry all major brands like Honeybee, Alloway, Amity, Artex, Hardy, Capello, Monosem, Pickett, Wilrich, and Black Ace. So whether you're trading in, buying, or just need parts, go to ProAgEquip.com to see everything Pro Ag has to offer.
We very much take a lot of pride in our work. Customer service has always been our #1.
We have the best materials. You're going to have the best people in the area to do the job.
If you can dream it up, we can make it happen.
Or head to gworkslf.com to get started.
From tears in your car, truck, boat, or farm equipment seats to making boat covers or complete restorations of the interior of your hot rod, Finest Auto Trim in Grand Forks can make the inside of your rides look brand new. Big or small, Finest Auto Trim can cover it all. To get a quote, go to finestautotrim.com.
This is the KNOX Intermission Report, presented by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. We're at the end of a frame, and your score tonight is Grand Forks Central 1 and Fargo North 0. Our coverage of high school hockey into our intermission report brought to you tonight by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks. With a system from High Plains Water, you have no more scaly buildup around your fixtures, which is just ugly, and you take a look at it and that tells you what's in your water. So get that out of your water. Get great tasting water in your home, better for your skin as well, along with cleaner laundry with less detergent and appliances that last longer, which save you money. High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks. And our coverage tonight brought to you by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel. With Grand Forks Welding and Machine, you can get the repairs that you need to get made now. So you have the opportunity to get the head start on things next year and hit the ground running, whether it's broken or twisted shafts or holes that need tightening. You know that the professionals at Grand Forks Welding and Machine will get what you need fixed for you. Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, bringing you our intermission report. Well, it's 1-0. Grand Forks Central over Fargo North at the end of a period. Fargo North managed just 2 shots on goal. Grand Forks Central 12. In the first about 8 minutes of play, I believe we had just 3 total shots on goal. And then Grand Forks Central really opened things up after a key penalty was taken against against Fargo North. They called Colin Holt for a holding minor at 8:06. I did not see the penalty. It must have been a delayed penalty that was out there. I did not see it. So a holding minor that was called against Colin Holt, and it came at 8:06 of the period, and it leads to the lone goal that we have. But that power play really helped open things up for Grand Forks Central. After that power play, they started going on a tear where they just peppered the end of the ice anyway with shots. They had many opportunities right around the doorstep. They just hadn't caught a lot of puck luck, and really Fargo North probably fortunate to get out of that first period, just trailing by a score of 1-0, but definitely a period where you saw a pretty strong Grand Forks Central offensive effort. They just didn't get a lot on the board in that opening period. Let's take a look at our scoring summary with Who Lit the Lamp, and it's brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. They make the lamp and the light shine brighter. In the opening period, it's Trey Clausen on the power play from Nolan Marto and Wyatt Blake. It came at 9:51 of the opening period, and Trey Clausen has his first goal of the season, and that is hard to believe. Trey Clausen had a great season a year ago, and just expected to have another great season this year, but after 4 games of the season, he had been held to just 1 point on the year. Did not have a goal, had just an assist, and comes up with his first goal. Assists on that from Nolan Marteau, his 5th assist of the season, and an assist from Wyatt Blake as well, and Blake ends up with his 3rd assist of the season and his 3rd point as well. So it's Clausen for Marteau and Blake at 9:51 of the first period, and that makes it 1-0, and that is Who Lit the Lamp. And Who Lit the Lamp is brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. They make the lamp and the light shine brighter. We're at the intermission. Your score at the end of a period of play is 1-0. Grand Forks Central over Fargo North. We'll try to take a look at some scores in progress as we continue in a couple of moments, so do stay with us as we continue our intermission report. Brought to you by Grand Forks Welding and Machine and High Plains Water. This is our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting someone who pays attention to the little things that make a big difference. And to keep your family cool this summer, it takes Bryant.
Connect with Thermal Air today, your Bryant certified dealer.
In Grand Forks, it's about more than just where you live. It's about the people you trust when life happens. At Logan Karski State Farm, we're proud to protect what matters most. I'm Logan Karski with State Farm, and we'd be honored to be your good neighbor.
When the lights go out, count on the pros. Bergstrom Electric in Grand Forks, the area's largest full-service electrical contractor. From commercial builds to homes, they're trusted for quality, safety, and award-winning work. Call today, 701-775-8897.
When you need the right part for your pickup, head to Northwood or call Mike's Custom Truck. Amanda will drop ship any part you need. Turbos, upgraded fuel pumps, Edge products, and more. Mike's Custom Truck, 587-6335.
Nelson Auto in Grand Forks is proud to sponsor area athletics. We know the value of a good team, and we'd like to invite you in to meet our team. See how our team takes care of you and your family. Nelson Auto in Grand Forks, home to Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
Hey, this is Pastor Paul. I'd like to welcome you to Hope Church, especially if you're a person that doesn't have a place where you hang out spiritually. We would love for you to come and experience hope and find God. Hope Church, 9, 10:30, and 6 p.m. on Sundays. For more information, you can check out gfhope.org.
Pick 6 for $19.99, a perfect meal for two.
That's gotta rhyme.
Well, how about munching on Pick 6, my mouth going yap, yap. People always staring at my wings, they go flap, flap. Dave is so surprised because he didn't know I'd rap. Pick 6 meal for two for $19.99.
H&S Electrical Services is proud to support local high school sports. From homes to industry, we deliver safe, reliable electrical solutions. Locally owned and operated, our skilled team ensures quality and service you can trust. H&S, trusted in your homes and businesses.
This is the KNOX Intermission Report, presented by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. 1-0 in favor of Grand Forks Central over Fargo North as we continue with our intermission report, brought to you tonight by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks. Some scores. How about over at the Blue Line Iceplex tonight? Grand Forks Red River put up a 5 spot on Fargo Davies in the opening period, and the Rough Riders lead the Eagles by a score of 5-0 at the end of a period of play. That is an unbelievable score. We expected that one to be a very, very different game so far, but we see Chase Kalk on the board, Mason Breno, Griffin Hoganson, Caden Svoboda, and Caden Ulmer, and all 5 goals have been at even strength. So there haven't been a bunch of power plays to help out Grand Forks Red River in that matchup, and that's a big, big score on the board tonight. Down at West Fargo, they have made their way to the end of a period of play, and your score is West Fargo and Devils Lake. 0-0. Only a penalty taken by West Fargo. It resulted in a penalty shot, but in the long run, Devils Lake did not score on it, And so we're sitting at 0-0 in that matchup. West Fargo dominating the action with 14 shots on goal compared to 6 for Devils Lake in that matchup. And the Fargo Shanley Deacons and the Grafton Spoilers set to go at 7. No report on that one. That is a look at your scoring summary. Brought to you by Bergstrom Electric and also brought to you by Altru. Regular screenings with Altru's care team can detect illness before symptoms begin. Stay in the game of wellness. Schedule an appointment. Visit altru.org or call 780-5000. Here, it's 1-0 in favor of Grand Forks Central over Fargo North. And our second period is on the way next. We'll get to it. We do have our camera difficulties remedied. So, folks, thank you for your patience. This is our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network.
It's game day, and whether you're feeding the family or the entire team, Hugo's is the place to go. Score big with favorites from the meat department, delicious fresh veggies, and don't forget about the bakery to celebrate the big win. Hugo's Family Marketplace, your game day headquarters.
Thief River Glass handles it all. Aluminum storefronts, auto glass, windows, shower enclosures, and more. Just like our athletes, we're built for every season. No job is too big or too small. Call 218-681-1333 for year-round dependable service.
When you're looking for a change of pace, a change of routine, or a change of scenery, we'll help you find what's next. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. For you, for life.
Ready to launch your future? At Northland Community and Technical College, opportunity starts here. Train for high-demand technical and skilled trades or start with an affordable Associates of Arts degree and transfer with ease. Visit northlandcollege.edu.
The Kubota BX Series, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. Talk to your Kubota dealer to schedule a demo.
For expert sales and service, visit Acme Equipment or online at acmekubota.com.
The body shop you work with is your choice, so pick the local team with the service you trust. Modern Auto Body in Grand Forks can make it look like the accident never happened. Schedule an appointment for an estimate on our website or give us a call.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. Tonight, we bring it to you here from Purpur Arena, courtesy of High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks, and Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel. We're ready for second period action tonight. Again, a very stunning result over at the Blue Line Iceplex after a period. Grand Forks Red River leading 5-0 over Fargo Davies. And here, Fargo North, despite giving up a 12-2 shots on goal disadvantage to Grand Forks Central, is down just 1-0 to the Knights. So we get ready to go into period number 2. And again, we believe we've got our camera difficulties all taken care of here. We had an interesting setup here today, and working with some different things as we kind of spread out. 3 different broadcasts that we have going on tonight, and so we're going to kind of go back to a more traditional setup upstairs and see if we can't make that one work here tonight. Fargo North will move from our right to left. Start the second period, left to right for Grand Forks Central. I don't know if you're Fargo North, how you really feel about how that first period went. You take a look at that first period and you kind of wonder, okay, we got outshot. We had a lot of time in our own end, but we're only down 1-0. And so from that perspective, we're kind of okay in this situation. And they might feel like, yeah, all right, first period's in the books. We're down 1-0. It's only 1 on the scoreboard, but they'll have to change a couple of things, obviously, that went on in that first period. Grand Forks Central got more aggressive as the night went on when it comes down to their offensive capabilities. Bit of a hold-up here. Not sure if we're kind of waiting for some water to cure up. We got a lot of water on the ice tonight. It's warmer outside, and I'm sure that that matters to some extent. We had a nice warm day here today in Grand Forks, mid-40s. Maybe the ice sets up a little bit better when it's cold outside, even though the building is the building, right? We get ready for the second period draw. Cooper DeZiel versus Peyton Rorick for the draw. And the tap controlled momentarily back to the blue line by Fargo North. They'll dump it back into the central end. This comes off for Kwame on the right. Kwame back to center. DeZiel 3-on-1 odd man, and Central's offside. Wow. This is a Central Knights hockey team that has had absolutely no puck luck here at all to start the season. There's a 3-on-1 odd man rush with your entire first line, and you're offside by a step. Rorik versus DeZiel again, and the puck ends up back in the north end. It's picked up by Connor Long, and Long tries to rotate out with it. Comes back right side boards for Andrew Schultz for Fargo North. Back up to Rorik, who tries to run the center. Rorik had the puck knocked away from him from behind. Good defensive play over there by Bina. Then Bina overskated the puck. Rorik comes back to it. Nearly had a takeaway, but Blake frees the puck and comes up ice looking 4-on-4. Rivard, a spin, attacking right circle, driving in, leaves one back for DeZiel, and Crocker kicks that one away. You saw Rivard coming in right circle, and Crocker was beaten a little bit, but you saw Rivard try to dish it back. Now Rivard waits for that play from behind the net. Nielsen coming back to the line, trying to pick up the deflection and dumps it back in to the Fargo North zone. But there were two very good chances for Grand Forks Central, and they come up empty in that situation. Nielsen back to get the puck for the Knights. He'll rotate back towards the right side. Scooped up by Nolan Marteau. Marteau has it poked up the ice by Nielsen, who comes in for a hard pinch. He plays it out in front of the net. Chip back towards the left wall. Drive coming in from the right point, actually, by Bodie Burris. Burris sent it back into the corner. Knights try to play for it. North will send it back up the ice, and icing will be the call. Timeouts brought to you tonight by Big Jim's Tire, your #1 supplier of ag tires in the region, and Apex Apparel, your hometown quick turnaround, family-owned and operated promotional shop in Grand Forks. They'll draw to the left of goaltender Dominic Crocker. Out to the point, Carson Cutterba has the puck. It goes loose in front of the net. Marteau tries to hold it in. Blasted near side wall, and Cutterba will go back into the neutral zone to pick it up for Central. Cutterba look up the ice, looking off the right side wall. Marteau trying to chase one down. Loose to the high slot. Walkenfuss trying to knock it free. Ends up in the corner. Marteau, a backhander, then slides his way to the net, looking for the rebound, but couldn't catch up to it. Puck dragged away loose on the right side by Fargo North's Kellen Doherty. And Doherty comes up ice looking for a 2-on-2 offensively. Alex McComb leading the charge on the right wing. McComb loses the puck into the corner. Spicer trying to leave one up the wall for a rush from Marteau. It comes loose to the point and dumped back in off the left point from Leighton Olson, who will go off on a change for Fargo North. Short line changes here in the even-numbered period. Marteau trying to dump it off the far wall. It's deflected loose along the center line. A race to get to it. Good defensive struggle. Chase Larson on a strong forecheck. Fargo North has been better in this second period of trying to command a little bit of space and playing a little bit more one-on-one. Knights come away with it off the left side. It's Walkenfuss into the offensive end. Marteau in the center, backhander, misses the net. He'll pick up his own puck and backhands it back towards the right point. Blake trying to hold it down. It's deflected back to center. Loose puck is scooped up by Bo Purdy and Skylar Burkhardt. Burkhardt comes up the ice and dumps it back into the corner. Nielsen will shovel the puck off the backhand of his blade near side, and it's driven back in well over the net by Peyton Rorik from the left point for the Spartans. Down to 14:10 to play of the second period. Still just 1-0 Central. North on a rush up the ice. They've got some good front net pressure. It was Burkhardt that was standing tall right on top of the crease. Couldn't get his hands on the puck. Connor Long left side. Drives one wide of the net. Puck will go back loose towards the far edge. Knocked off by Walkenfuss through the neutral zone. North, a couple of good rushes. Maybe their best shift of the night. And an icing call coming up. That'll bring us back into the north zone for a draw. But that might have been Fargo North's best shift so far this evening. Shots are 13-2 Central, but it's 1-0 Knights on the All-True scoreboard. And we'll draw to the right of goaltender Dominic Crocker on the right. Again, draws brought to you by Apex Apparel and Big Jim's Tire. And they toss it down. And we saw a little bit of a win by Trey Clausen. It kind of stuck in the circle. Didn't get a lot of velocity on it. Clausen tries to step through a pair of men. Loose off the wall. Comes back to the point. Clausen pulled it free again. Had a body on him right away. And the Knights can't hold the zone. It spins back to Logan Nielsen, who will back up into his own end and tries to reform the rush. Came back towards the left circle, goes loose into the corner. Kirkaby, a backhander back in towards Clausen, waiting with some front net pressure. Again, Jacob Spicer is there in the corner. Spicer rotates back out to the point. Nielsen a drive into traffic. Crocker lost that, but it ends up on his blocker as it came through a ton of traffic, and the puck comes back towards the near side wall. Long will drive it up into the neutral zone, and Holden Eberle will keep the rush going for Fargo North into the offensive end. It's knocked loose along the line. Clausen breaks one out. Left side has a rush from Jacob Spicer. He'll launch one wide into the corner, and the rebound will carry him back out into the neutral zone. A reach for Kellen Doherty for Fargo North to try to step up ice. He'll lose control of the puck. Knights get it back with Kaysen Panzer, but an offside call coming up as Clausen got in ahead of Jacob Spicer. We'll draw with 12:47 to play in the second period. 1-0 Knights on a goal that was scored by Trey Clausen on the power play. Nothing at even strength. The Knights have had all kinds of opportunities, but they have not been able to crack the code. And like we said, a lot of errant shots and a lot of just fortunate bounces for Fargo North. Loose puck here, and Cooper DeZiel drives one wide of the net after taking the feed from Kwame. Rivard in the right circle, comes back out towards the near wall. Now he turns on the high slot, turns it back into the corner for DeZiel. DeZiel a turn, looking for Kwame on a chipper. That's wide, and Cutterba holds the offensive end. Ends up back behind the net. Kwame's there to rush it. It'll bounce off towards the right. Picked up there by Alex McComb for Fargo North. Spartans up ice. Kellen Doherty widening out to the near side wall. Loose in the corner. A drive off the side of the net that time from Jack Barch as the Spartans come up with an opportunity. This will go loose back to the wall. Doherty's there. Turned it back into the corner, but it's loose. Kwame comes out with it for Central, trying to take on three defenders. A stop on the left point. Dumps it in towards the near circle. Kwame tries to hold it up, looking for Rivard to step in. Rivard will come back out to the point. This one's deflected back to the neutral zone, and we'll see a whistle. That's going to bring us to a media stoppage. We'll have a timeout for media with 11:43 to play second period. Your score on the All True scoreboard is the Knights 1 and the Spartans 0. This is our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Sports.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, GrandTrailersales.com.
Rivals on the ice, united in the stands, and everyone's geared up from Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Hockey gear, fan apparel, Nodak Pride, we've got it all and more. Locally owned, 1004 South Washington Street. Shop local, shop Jarrell's.
Timeout taken for media with 11:43 to play of the second period. All True scoreboard reads 1-0 in favor of Grand Forks Central. We take a look at the keys for the game tonight. Brought to you by Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. And Fargo North being fundamentally sound, capitalizing on power plays. Well, the Spartans for the first half of the opening period certainly fundamentally sound. They've been able to put some bodies in some key places to try to keep Grand Forks Central away from the high scoring areas, but Central's had many more chances. As far as the power plays, North hasn't had one as of yet. The lone goal's been scored in the power play, but that was scored by Central after a North penalty halfway through the first period. Drive for the left point by the Spartans as they get up into the offensive end, and Colin Holt will have one punched away by Weston Nielsen. But for Fargo North, they haven't made big mistakes so far tonight. The power play goal for Trey Clausen, really nice play. And Central's had all kinds of additional nice plays, and they've hit a crossbar. One thing about Central, you may get the idea they're forcing things a little bit. A lot of shots that they're taking are wide of the net. They've had a lot of activity, but not all of it's been on the money. Weston Nielsen will take a ripper from the right point that came from Levi Trulica, and Nielsen will hold on for a whistle. A decent crowd here tonight. Fargo North usually travels pretty well, and they've got some fans here this evening. They're kind of spread out here on a Tuesday night at Purple Arena. Puck knocked away towards the far side, comes out to the point, another drive wide of the net. Big opening left by Weston Nielsen after that drive was sent in by Holden Eberle. Knights get it back to the neutral zone, but Fargo North has not allowed Central to kind of hang in the offensive end like they did the last half of that first period. The Knights really had a lot of offensive pressure at the end of the first, and North has been much more aggressive and able to open things up on their own end here in the second. Connor Long back to pick up a puck for Fargo North. Tries to stretch things out. Long stretch pass there for Skylar Burkhardt that will dump it in. Now the Spartans want to go off on a change, and Central will stretch things out of their own accord as Ryland Spicer dumps one into the corner. Long is back to it, sends it off on the right for McComb for Fargo North. Turnover. Loose puck Spicer drives a wrister wide of the net again. Walkenfuss into the corner to handle it. Looks back behind the net for Marteau. Marteau a stop, tried to play it back up the wall. Clearing play cut off there by Bina. He'll drive one wide of the net. Rather, Bodie Burris will drive one wide of the net. And the puck comes back into the neutral zone. Nielsen trying to clean it up. Good rush from Jack Barch. Been impressed with Jack Barch tonight when we've seen him with some open ice to work with. Jack Barch for Fargo North can move. He's got a really nice first step and gets going rather quickly. He's a dangerous player, just a sophomore. Smaller in stature, but obviously will grow as time goes on. Spartans are probably going to feel pretty good about his future with the amount of speed that he's able to put on the ice. We'll draw on the Grand Forks Central line. Puck will come back off left side, and Cutterba had it, then lost the puck. It comes loose on the high slot. Nielsen tries to transition out for Cooper DeZiel. DeZiel trying to hold things down the left. Rather, that was not DeZiel. My apologies. That was Kason Panzer that's back there. Taken up on the left side by Brady Kirkaby, and now getting loose again. Here comes Cutterba up the ice. Cutterba trying to make a pass. It's driven in on a little deflection from Jacob Spicer, but Spicer was held up. Spicer comes back, rips one. Crocker makes a stick save there as Spicer put one right down the heart of the slot. Loose puck back to the near side point. Cutterba trying to get one free, and a block shot from North. Loose puck, Clausen in the corner. Clausen tries to pull around two defenders, fights off contact. Spartans can't free it back to the point. Burris holds it in. It'll go loose into the corner. A touch off the wall. Back out to the point again. Panzer coming back left side. Cutterba, a look, a drive. Crocker off the chest. Loose puck down to the doorstep. Digging is Spicer. And again, the Knights come away without a conversion. Clausen, backhanded pass into the corner. Loose puck picked up there by Spicer, and he'll turn it back to the point. Panzer's there. Back off the wall. Spicer will ring one back towards the right side boards. Cutterba steps into the circle to take control. Tries to back up. Lost one, and here comes a call. Tripping penalty coming up against Grand Forks Central. Back on the race was going to be Simon Schwingler, a fourth-line winger, after the puck was mishandled on the near side, and all Cutterba could do was trip him to hold it up. And Central will go to the box for the first time tonight. It'll be Cutterba for tripping. Time of the penalty will be at 8 minutes and 2 seconds of the second period. And another power play, but this time for Fargo North, brought to you by RBB Electric. On call, on time, online, rbbelectric.com. The Spartans a play away from tying the game at the midway point of the second period, now on the man advantage. North into the corner. A toss from a short-sided effort from Elijah Engler. Comes back to Rorick on the right side wall, and Central will clear it. Good play by Logan Bina to send this down the ice. And DeZiel was thinking about some upfront pressure. Ends up losing his stick trying to reach out to hold up the play. Quickly retrieves the stick, and Connor Long will start a breakout up the ice. Central's down an extra man here with DeZiel trailing the play. The Spartans play one towards the crease. It slips loose. Rorick will turn it back to Inger on the near side for the Spartans. This will be jabbed back into the neutral zone. Wyatt Blake got the touch on it. Blake sprays one up the offensive end. Rivard with the wrister, and Crocker's there to make the save and hold for the whistle. 1:12 left on the power play clock. And again, our power play is brought to you by RBB Electric. On call, on time, online, rbbelectric.com. Shots are 19-5 Central, but it's 1-0 Grand Forks Central, and they're on the penalty kill for another minute plus. Loose puck picked up by Walkenfuss, and he'll drive it wide of the Fargo North net. Spartans, Leighton Olsen trying to get back to it, and Kwame staying up the ice for Grand Forks Central. They must believe in their penalty kill that they can get back and kill it with 3, because they love to kill penalties up at the offensive end, and a lot of shorthanded pressure put on. Here's Kwame jabbing one free, ends up knocking down an official, then takes a hit from behind, jabs it up off the glass, and the Knights come up ice with 2 skaters trying to force the issue. Now Fargo North comes back with a 3-on-2 odd man. Leading the charge is Barch. Barch waiting for the puck in the left corner. Stops behind the net on a pull against Logan Nielsen. Turns it back to the point. Trulica down to the corner. Finding Barch. Back to Trulica. Loads up. Slap shot. Deflected into traffic. It goes loose to the near circle. Spartans able to get to it with Andrew Schultz. He'll turn it off right circle. Shot up and over the bar. Good wrister by Barch. Ends up just missing. Near side chance from the point from Leighton Olsen is blocked. It ends up back behind the net. Schultz will turn it back into the corner. Nielsen picks it off, plays off the high glass, and we'll see a whistle. Not sure if this touched something on the way through on the Fargo North bench. Central still had the penalty kill, so they should have had the opportunity to send this up the ice, but they're going to draw in the Grand Forks Central zone. 7:06 to play, second period. 8 seconds remaining of power play time for Fargo North. The Knights leading 1-0. This has been a productive power play for the Spartans. Puck back out to the left point, and a drive from the high slot that's blocked. Connor Long trying to get one away. Rylan Spicer steps up and blocks the shot, and Grand Forks Central kills the penalty. They're back to full strength. Couple of nice opportunities for Fargo North through the man advantage, though. They come up empty, and Central with Kaysen Panzer trying to lead the charge up the ice. Marto, a wrister from the top of the circle, ends up having deflect over the net. It's dug out back from behind the net by Holton Erbely for Fargo North. Erbely will turn it back into the neutral zone. Marto cuts it off, up ice 3-on-3. He's got Spicer with him and Walkenfuss. Walkenfuss in the corner trying to dig one free after some pressure from Erbely in the corner. Walkenfuss jabs, Spicer jabs, Erbely stays with it in the corner. Rorick reaches back to try to free the puck, slams one off the end wall. And again, Erbely takes a shot into the corner. This will rotate back to the point. Nielsen catches up to it. Stops just in the neutral zone. Takes a step down the left side wall and turns it back in for Nolan Marto. A backhander by Marto that slipped a bit. Rorick trying to find the puck. Turned over the top. It'll come back to the point for Nielsen. Back off to the high slot. A look there and a step left by Bodie Burris. Burris trying to get one free in the circle. Has a shot blocked. Burris will turn it back down the wall. Under 6 to play now in the period. Icing coming up, and that's going to bring us to another media timeout with 5:47 to play of the second period. 1-0 Grand Forks Central over Fargo North on our All True scoreboard. We have a timeout brought to you by Apex Apparel and Big Jim's Tire. This is our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill.
When the lights go out, count on the pros. Bergstrom Electric in Grand Forks, the area's largest full-service electrical contractor. From commercial builds to homes, they're trusted for quality, safety, and award-winning work. Call today, 701-775-8897.
Ready to launch your future? At Northland Community and Technical College, opportunity starts here. Train for high-demand technical and skilled trades or start with an affordable Associates of Arts degree and transfer with ease. Visit northlandcollege.edu.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. Score update, game in progress over at Blue Line Iceplex tonight. They're in the second period. Grand Forks, Red River still leading Fargo Davies by a score of 5-0. A little bit less production in that second period thus far. 3-2 shots on goal for Grand Forks, Red River. The Eagles have taken a penalty in that second period as well, but so far Red River holding on to a 5-0 lead there. Here's a chance that scores from the point. It'll be Logan Nielsen sending one in from the near side point for Grand Forks Central. And just like that, out of the media timeout, the Knights will take a 2-0 lead. Nielsen should get credit for the goal. The time of the goal will be at 11 minutes and 17 seconds. And a goal from the blue line tonight for Grand Forks Central as we take a look, well, we will, coming up in our intermission at our American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. But Logan Nielsen comes up with a goal for Grand Forks Central. At least that's where we believe it will be scored. There was a lot of traffic in front of the net, but Nielsen will score for the moment. And we'll wait for the official scoring to give you the rundown on it. But Grand Forks Central gets one back, or gets another back in, and takes a 2-0 lead in the matchup. They're still going through the scoring downstairs. Puck goes into the far corner. Nielsen trying to get to it, takes a hit from behind on that play from Burkhardt. And the puck back behind the net. Central will come out with control. Be taken off the right side by the Knights and blasted back up the ice. You may see a numbers change here. No correction, Henning Gibbs was out there on the ice.
And 11-17 in the second.
All right, we're going to get the announcement of the goal here.
Grand Forks Central Knights, number 23, Logan Nielsen.
Logan Nielsen does get credit for the goal.
Number 4, Samuel Presting.
Sam Presting will get an assist. It'll be Nielsen from Presting at 11-17. And the time of the goal at 11-17 to make it a 2-0 lead in favor of Grand Forks Central. And a shot comes in from the left wall, Weston Nielsen. We'll hold on to that one. So Grand Forks Central on the board in the second, with Logan Nielsen coming up with control. And a puck out on top of the crease off the draw. Weston Nielsen will make another save. Two 2-0 in favor of Grand Forks Central. And they'll draw again in the right circle, the Grand Forks Central zone. So now a Fargo North team's a little desperate here after going down 2-0. A great slap shot from the right point by Holden Erbely, but it's off the back of a Knight, and the puck will go into the far wall. A drive up the ice for Central. This will be played back towards the near end. Touched by the Spartans getting back for it. And Fargo North will have Elijah Inger back in his own end. And when Inger's back there, that's not really where Fargo North wants him to be, back on a deep back check, with Central still waiting to get up into the offensive zone. A circle back behind the net. Touch there by Connor Long. He'll play it up the far side wall. Scooped up on the far wall by Holden Erbely trying to get a rush up the ice. Goes loose in the neutral zone. Peyton Rorick comes away with it. Rorick stepping left, backhanding in. It goes wide of the net. It'll come back towards the left side. Picked up there for Central by Logan Bina. Back into the neutral zone. Here comes Trey Clausen for Central. Had his first goal of the season tonight. Clausen had one spun loose on the right side. McComb comes away with it for Fargo North. Erbely trying to hold the charge. He gets up into the offensive end. Is cut off on the far side by Kason Panzer. Panzer goes down. Couple of hits in the corner. Down to a knee to save this. The Spartans come away with it. Leighton Olson tries to get a shot away. That was blocked. Weston Nielsen tried to get rid of it and slipped over the puck. And then a clearing play just meanders back into the neutral zone. And no further. Puck loose on the far side wall. And the loose puck to Ryder Rivard for Grand Forks Central. Rivard has a man fall, drives himself in, short-sided, trying to hold on to position. And problem there for Central, nobody came up with Ryder Rivard. Here's DeZiel trying to get free. Rivard goes short-sided and sends it over the net, and the rebound will pop back onto the neutral zone. Cutter buzz there for Central. A backhander up into the offensive zone. Leighton Olson will take it for Fargo North. Loose puck left side, and Kwame sends one wide. Another grade A opportunity for Central, but the shot offline. DeZiel to the high slot, turns it back to Kwame. Down to the doorstep, a touch there for Cutterba. That one gets blocked. Rorick will clear it, and that will bring us to an icing call, I believe. This one finally does clear the goal line. So we'll go back into the Spartan zone with 2:52 to play of the second period. The shots on goal are 22-7. Grand Forks Central. And believe it or not, there have been opportunities tonight for Fargo North. They're in this game more than the 22-7 shots on goal would make you think. A chance from the left point off the draw by Burris. That gets knocked away. Rivard has it. Turns it back to Kwame on the high slot. Kwame steps back to the point to hold a loose puck. Then takes two hits and ends up being spun down. Rivard stepped over the top to try to keep the puck up ice. Instead, comes back left side for Dylan By. Fourth line center trying to charge up the ice for Fargo North. This will bound back to the neutral zone. Colin Holt back on his own line for the Spartans. Turns it back into the central end. Logan Nielsen turns away from pressure. Comes back up near side looking for Kwame. Kwame has DeZiel on his left. Kwame takes it into the corner instead. Tries to turn it back up the wall. Lost control of the puck. Logan Nielsen able to poke one back down to the Fargo North zone. And the Spartans have Levi Trulica back to pick it up. Puck meanders back out, nearly a turnover, but nobody home in the high slot. Big hit by DeZiel, just ended up wiping out Skylar Burkhardt from behind. Puck loose, driven wide of the net. Weston Nielsen turns to watch that one go wide on an effort from Dylan By. Central trying to make a quick transition up the ice. A drop left side. Rivard trying to get one free, and that one will be deflected up into the stands. Trey Clausen on the power play. Logan Nielsen here in the second. That's it so far. 2-0 Grand Forks Central over Fargo North. 1:45 to play in the second period. Marteau will take the draw against Kellen Doherty. Puck goes back out towards the left point. Into the corner, one-timer for Wachenfuss, knocked away. Marteau battles for the rebound, can't find it. It's in front of the net. Marteau digs at it and scores. Nolan Marteau stays with it for Grand Forks Central and forces one past Crocker on what was a gritty area goal, and Nolan Marteau picks up a goal for Central to make it 3-0. Time of the goal will be at 15 minutes and 25 seconds of the period. Let's look at it at the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. Just a battle in front of the net. Marteau trying once, twice, and got it on the rebound. And Nolan Marteau with the goal for Grand Forks Central. Replays brought to you tonight by American Family Insurance. Tyler Nagel, your agent in Grand Forks. 3-0 Grand Forks Central. Get the assists on that. Marteau digging at it. There are going to be a couple of additional touches around the net. Here comes Spicer up the ice. Wachenfuss making a dish to Marteau. Good rush by that second line for Central. Works back out to Kwame on the point. Kwame going rink wide, finding some support from Kaysen Panzer. Panzer puts it back behind the net. Loose over into the far corner. A turn by Elijah Inger. He was able to come up ice with Andrew Schultz. Schultz will come through the neutral zone. It's 1 minute to go in the second period. We wait for the official scoring on the goal. Meanwhile, Cutterba coming back up the ice for Central. Cutterba drops one back off towards the left point, gets it back in the left circle. Nolan Marteau does get credit for the goal for Grand Forks Central. There will be an assist for Wachenfuss on the play, and also for Ryland Spicer. So Marteau from Wachenfuss and Spicer at 15:25 of the period. And that will make it a 2-0 lead, or rather 3-0 lead in favor of Grand Forks Central. That second line has looked good in the period. Couple of good rushes for that second line. There's plenty of talent on that second line. And Grand Forks Central able to push the lead to 3-0, although it's been the hard way so far tonight for Grand Forks Central. Puck dumped in the corner. A charge for it for DeZiel. Comes back out to Nielsen. Tried to get a touch from Kwame on the way through. DeZiel's there, scoops it back out to the point. It's fought free from behind. He stayed with it. Good play. Kwame trying to pull around a defender. Now DeZiel charges it. Crocker got it under a foot, and DeZiel got inside the goalie space, and we've got pushing and shoving. DeZiel threw a punch. Another was thrown back perhaps from Leighton Olson. DeZiel came out with a forearm, and it looks like Cooper DeZiel is going to spend some time in the bin. It's been a frustrating game for DeZiel. Did they call a major penalty here? I think they threw DeZiel out of the game. So DeZiel's going to go at 16:47, and it's going to be a 5-minute major penalty on DeZiel. But there's also going to be a penalty against Fargo North here as well. And the penalty, I believe, is going to go against Leighton Olson. They've got Olson in the box for Fargo North, but they put another penalty up against Grand Forks Central. So Olson's going to go in the box for a roughing call. And that penalty will be also at 16:47. But DeZiel's going to get a major penalty and a game misconduct. I'm not sure if it was a major penalty for roughing. They said something about the face mask, but we're going to skate 2 minutes of 4-on-4 and then go from there, and Fargo North will go on a 3-minute major penalty. So 4-on-4 for now, and the penalty will just barely get started and will run out of real estate here in period number 2, and that's going to be the end of the second period of play. So Cooper DeZiel appears to have been lost for a game, and that means that Central likely is without him for the next game, and that next game could be against Grand Forks Red River. Not 100% sure of their schedule, but we'll have to take a look at that, and that'll definitely be something now that we'll watch coming up and update you on as we get a little bit further into this one. But at the end of this second period, Grand Forks Central leading by a score of 3-0. Let's get the announcement of the penalties. They're announcing the Leighton Olson roughing penalty. So it's a 2-minute roughing minor. And let's see what they called DeZiel for here.
Cooper DeZiel, 5 minutes in a game misconduct for face mask.
Okay, apparently it's a face masking call. I'm not familiar with that one. I haven't seen a face masking call in hockey before, but DeZiel gets a major penalty for face masking and a game misconduct, so Cooper DeZiel lost for the night and will skate for 1:48 seconds, 4-on-4, as we start the third period coming up. After 2 periods of play, Grand Forks Central leading Fargo North by a score of 3-0. And our intermission report is what we have for you next. And our intermission report is brought to you tonight by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water. This is our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivards Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Go to rivards.com.
Rivals on the ice, united in the stands, and everyone's geared up from Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Hockey gear, fan apparel, Nodak Pride, we've got it all and more. Locally owned, 1004 South Washington Street. Shop local, shop Jarrell's.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, GrandTrailersales.com.
Signature Graphics in East Grand Forks is your one-stop shop for all your branding and design needs. From embroidery, vinyl wrapping, laser print, and more, fully customized from start to finish, all in-house. Signature Graphics. We craft your vision. You watch it come to life.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
It's hard to explain what this feels like. We could try to put it into words, but nothing compares to experiencing it for yourself. You just have to get in the seat.
Visit True North Equipment at any of our 10 locations or at www.truenorthequipment.com.
Spray Advantage of Grand Forks carries everything you need for the chemical and fertilizer application on your farm. Pumps, tips, and tanks from 3 gallons all the way up to 10,000 gallons on hand. They can help with parts and accessories for the fertilizer and tillage equipment on your farm too. SprayAdvantage.com.
Apex Apparel is your quick turnaround apparel and promotional item shop in Grand Forks. If you're looking for direct-to-garment printing, embroidery work, or a huge selection of promotional items, come to Apex Apparel, your locally owned, family-run, quick turnaround apparel shop in Grand Forks.
The Ski and Bike Shop in Grand Forks. Gear up for ski season or hit the trails on a fat tire bike. At the Ski and Bike Shop, we offer top brands, ski and snowboard service, and everything you need for cold weather fun. The Ski and Bike Shop in Grand Forks, where your next adventure begins.
This is the KNOX Intermission Report, presented by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. Now, as we go to the third period, intermission report brought to you tonight by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks. And we'll get to a couple of highlights that we had in that second period coming up in a couple of moments. But for those of you that just tuned in, Cooper DeZiel took a game misconduct and a 5-minute major penalty for face masking at the end of that second period of play. And just taking a look, here's the really interesting scenario that we have coming up because of that. Grand Forks Central's next game is on Thursday, and that game will be against Fargo Shanley, and that game is on the road in Fargo. Now, the game after that is Central versus Red River in the league, and Cooper DeZiel likely going to have to sit the next game. But you would think, okay, well, Fargo Shanley would be the game, so you would have Cooper DeZiel for Grand Forks Red River. The problem with that is that if weather hits on Thursday and that game is lost between Shanley and Grand Forks Central down in Fargo, what you're left with is the next game would be Red River and Central. So a costly penalty for Cooper DeZiel perhaps at the end of that second period. Grand Forks Central blue-collaring their way out to a 3-0 lead. Nolan Marteau, gritty area goal at the end of the period. Weston Nielsen from the point. Again, nothing flashy here for Grand Forks Central on the 3-0 lead. They get the goal from Logan Nielsen from the point. We'll take you through the scoring summary in a couple of moments. And that was just a goal with a lot of traffic in front of the net. And then Nolan Marteau just does what you want good hockey players to do. Digging out loose pucks and second chance opportunities right on top of the blue paint. And he forces one through. The two goals are a little better than 4 minutes apart. And that's what's led Grand Forks Central to a 3-0 lead tonight. So let's take a look at our highlights that we had in that second period. Our highlights brought to you by American Family Insurance. Tyler Nagel, your agent. Let's get a look at Nielsen's goal. This comes right off the face-off. Nielsen will take it out right out of a media stoppage, left point into a bunch of traffic in front of the net. Just that simple. Take the eyes away, and you get that one to go through. And then Nolan Marteau's goal, just in the right place, waiting for a loose puck, continues to fight at it. That's gritty area stuff that comes from Nolan Marteau and that situation. And that's what we had for our American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel agent highlights that we had in the second period of play. Again, nothing flashy in there at all. But then the penalty is taken by Cooper DeZiel, and DeZiel's lost for a game for face masking, a 5-minute major penalty and a game misconduct. Now in the same play, we saw Leighton Olson of Fargo North go off for roughing. And so right now there's 1 minute and 48 seconds of 4-on-4 skating that's about to take place, and then Fargo North will go on a 3-minute major penalty. That will be all you can eat for the Spartans, trailing by a score of 3-0. But Central had a major penalty against Trey Clausen in the matchup with Fargo Davies that turned that into a 3-1 game to a 3-3 game. And now you've got 3-0 here, but Fargo North will have an opportunity to try to wiggle themselves back into the matchup as we get a little deeper into the third period. Let's take a look at our scoring summary. And our scoring summary brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. They make the lamp and the light shine brighter. And in that second period, Logan Nielsen from Sam Presting. Goal comes at 11:17 of the second period of play. And then we saw Nolan Marteau pick up a goal from Gavin Walkenfuss and Ryland Spicer. Time of that goal at 15:25 in the second period. Trey Clausen earlier tonight, 3 goals from 3 different nights. And for Nolan Marteau, he's got the point lead tonight. Marteau with a goal and an assist now has 2 points on the night for Grand Forks Central. And that's who lit the lamp. And it's brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. They make the lamp and the light shine brighter. Spartans trailing the Knights by a score of 3-0. Our intermission summary brought to you by Grand Forks Welding and Machine. The Men of Steel at Grand Forks Welding and Machine. They're ready to help you with those repairs that you need to get made for the upcoming season. You want to hit the ground running again, don't you? Coming up next year, take that machinery that had its tests to Grand Forks Welding and Machine. Broken or twisted shafts, holes that need tightening, they have you covered at Grand Forks Welding and Machine. And our intermission report brought to you by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks. With a system from High Plains Water, you get the taste into your water, the chemicals out. You're going to love the taste of your water. That means you'll drink more in your home. You're going to have cleaner laundry with less detergent, appliances that last longer, and that saves you money at High Plains Water. High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks. Again, at the break of period number 2 into 3. It's Fargo North trailing Grand Forks Central by a score of 3-0. We'll take a look at some scores from around the Eastern Dakota Conference of Hockey in a couple of moments, so stay with us for that. We'll get to that coming up in just a bit. This is our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and 4-H Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports.
Rust, salt, and time are the biggest enemies for a fuel tank. Never fear, because Grand Forks Welding is here to take care of your enemies for you. We not only fix or patch your tanks, but we can custom fabricate any kind of replacement fuel tanks or service unit. Go to grandforkswelding.com.
Your family deserves clean, filtered water. High Plains Water offers Millennium Drink Water System, which delivers great tasting water and also eliminates harmful impurities. Professionally installed and maintained by High Plains Water of Grand Forks. See them at highplainswater.com.
Big Jim's Tire is the area's #1 farm and ag tire supplier, and with harvest here, you want the best. Best tires, best service, and Big Jim's will get it done fast to get you moving again. Big Jim's Tire, Grand Forks.
Today, the PS stands for proper service for your home, farm, or business, which is what you'll get from the team at PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks. Whether you need a door fixed or just thinking about replacing what you already have, get your proper service at psgaragedoors.com.
Nothing feels or performs better than a properly fitted golf club. Whether it's irons, driver, or putter, call us today for your free club fitting. For over 30 years, the Golf Center in Grand Forks has been your club fitting leader.
Valley Truck in East Grand Forks is proud to support our local high school athletes. With over 400 years of combined experience, they keep our community moving on and off the field. Trusted repairs, quality parts, and support for the next generation.
Pro Ag in Grand Forks and Grafton carries the equipment and parts on hand to make your farming operation run smooth. They carry all major brands like Honeybee, Alloway, Amity, Artex, Hardy, Capello, Monosem, Pickett, Will Rich, and Black Ace. So whether you're trading in, buying, or just need parts, go to ProAgEquip.com to see everything Pro Ag has to offer.
We very much take a lot of pride in our work. Customer service has always been our number one.
We have the best materials. You're going to have the best people in the area to do the job. If you can dream it up, we can make it happen.
Or head to gworkslf.com to get started.
From tears in your car, truck, boat, or farm equipment seats to making boat covers or complete restorations of the interior of your hot rod, Finest Auto Trim in Grand Forks can make the inside of your rides look brand new. Big or small, Finest Auto Trim can cover it all. To get a quote, go to finestautotrim.com.
This is the KNOX Intermission Report, presented by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turpin 4-inch Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports tonight. We move to period number 3. Our second intermission continues, brought to you by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water, and Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel. And at the break, it is 3-0 Grand Forks Central over Fargo North. But again, dual penalties, 2 minutes, rather 1:48 of 4-on-4 skating coming up, and then 3 minutes of power play for Fargo North on a major penalty against Cooper DeZiel, who's been lost for the game with a face masking penalty. But nonetheless, it's 3-0 in favor of Grand Forks Central. Let's take a look at our scoreboard summary, brought to you by Altru. Regular screenings with Altru's care team can detect illness before symptoms begin. Stay in the game of wellness. Schedule an appointment. Visit altru.org or call 780-5000. Well, they're in the second period over at Blue Line Iceplex, and something did not go well for Fargo Davies to start the night. Now they've recovered a bit. They scored a goal in the power play, but Red River came back with a goal towards the end of the second period. And right now it's 6-1 in favor of Grand Forks Red River. The Rough Riders ripped 5 goals in the first period, and they've had 6 different men scored tonight. Chase Kalka, Mason Breno, Griffin Hoganson, Caden Svoboda, Caden Ulmer, and Stetson Brown all on the board for Grand Forks Red River tonight. The lone goal for Fargo Davies from Kaysen Currents on the power play. But that is 6-1 in favor of Grand Forks Red River. That was looked at as a major test, and the Rough Riders seem to be fixing what was ailing them coming into the night. Right now, they're at 1 apiece down in West Fargo, between West Fargo and Devil's Lake. Nothing after 1. Halo Buckholtz got on the board for West Fargo, but Weston Nelson came back with a goal for Devil's Lake late in the second period, and that game is 1 apiece between Devil's Lake and West Fargo. And we didn't have a report earlier tonight, and we don't have a report tonight between Fargo, Shanley, and Grafton Park River. They're playing in Grafton, and we don't have anything to show you there, as the spoilers are not reporting what they have going on as far as their game in progress tonight. Not exactly sure why, but that's the way that goes here this evening. Now, as far as out west is concerned, quick look at what's going on out there right now. 4-3 Mandan over Bismarck. That game is in the second period of play. Mandan leading Bismarck by a score of 4-3. That game was 2-0 Mandan. Bismarck tied it 2 apiece. Bismarck Century has sent their junior varsity up to play Hazen Beulah tonight, and Hazen Beulah is leading that matchup by a score of 3-0. I'm not sure if that's for points or not. Bismarck Legacy's at Williston tonight. Nothing from Williston as of yet on a report there. And Dickinson is at Minot United tonight, and Minot United leading Dickinson by a score of 4-0, and that game is currently in the second period as well. And Minot United out shooting Dickinson 34-9 through 2 periods of play. Here, your score is Grand Forks Central 3 and Fargo North nothing at the end of 2 periods of play and ready to go into the third. And we'll do that coming up in a couple of moments, so stay with us. This is our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
It's game day, and whether you're feeding the family or the entire team, Hugo's is the place to go. Score big with favorites from the meat department, delicious fresh veggies, and don't forget about the bakery to celebrate the big win. Hugo's Family Marketplace, your game day headquarters.
Thief River Glass handles it all. Aluminum storefronts, auto glass, windows, shower enclosures, and more. Just like our athletes, we're built for every season. No job is too big or too small. Call 218-681-1333 for year-round dependable service.
When you're looking for a change of pace, a change of routine, or a change of scenery, we'll help you find what's next. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. For you, for life.
Ready to launch your future? At Northland Community and Technical College, opportunity starts here. Train for high-demand technical and skilled trades or start with an affordable Associates of Arts degree and transfer with ease. Visit northlandcollege.edu.
The Kubota BX Series, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. Talk to your Kubota dealer to schedule a demo.
For expert sales and service, visit Acme Equipment or online at acmekubota.com.
The body shop you work with is your choice, so pick the local team with the service you trust. Modern Auto Body in Grand Forks can make it look like the accident never happened. Schedule an appointment for an estimate on our website or give us a call.
We get ready for third period action tonight. At the end of 2, Grand Forks Central leading Fargo North by a score of 3-0. But an interesting occurrence coming at the end of that second period of play. Cooper DeZiel for the Knights takes a 5-minute major in a game misconduct for face masking. And with that, his next game obviously in jeopardy. And that next game is supposed to be at Fargo Shanley down in Fargo. And if that game is weathered out on Thursday, and again, a lot of talk about what the weather is going to be like, particularly here in the Northern Tier. If you lose that one, you got to serve the next game that you play, and the next game that you play is against Red River in this building coming up on Saturday. So that could be a rather costly penalty. And we'll have to see how that one plays out. I have a feeling that Grant Pernea will be on the phone saying Thursday, hey, it's just a little bit of snow. We can have school today. But in the meantime, 1:48 of 4-on-4 hockey that will be played, and then Fargo North to the major penalty for 3 minutes after that, with Central leading by a score of 3-0. Peyton Rohrer getting a shot away that goes wide of the net. When there's a lot of space on the ice, you're never really sure who it is that is benefited by that. Central's got the speed to take advantage of 4-on-4, but there are a couple of Spartans that can do the same. Puck dropped off in the neutral zone, nobody home to take it for Central. They'll dump it back in with Logan Bina. Held up by the net by Crocker for Fargo North, and the Spartans will try to cycle out with it. Left side, Erbely up into the neutral zone. Erbely paid a visit by Nielsen. Puck rubbed free and goes back into the central zone. Bodie Burris is back after it for the Knights. Comes back off towards the near side, finding Ryder Rivard. Then a puck taken away in the neutral zone. Easy takeaway. Erbely trying to find his way through traffic, but can't get free. Puck up into the neutral end. Taken away off the near side wall for Fargo North by Matthew Haugo. Then ripped loose, and Rivard tried to get a wrister away from the high slot, but it was deflected as he took a bump. Nielsen on the right wall, backing back up to the right point. 4-on-4 cycle here. Near side, ball, or actually puck taken rather by Burris. Burris back out to the high slot. A look, drive into traffic, goes wide of Rivard. Nielsen will pick up the carom off the right side boards. He's defended from behind by Schills. Schills tries to put a puck, or actually a stick on it. 3-on-2 for control. Knights turn away with it. Rivard actually near side Kwame. Kwame taking a look, back off to the right point. Nielsen, wrister, deflected up into the webbing. Will draw with 21 seconds left of the third period. 21 seconds left of 4-on-4. And that 3-minute penalty for Fargo North looming. All you can eat major penalty coming up here for the Spartans. Kwame will step to the circle to take the draw against Levi Trulica. No, he will not. Rorick will take the draw instead for Fargo North. Trulica is the man that ends up with control of the puck. He'll dive up into the neutral zone and got a pass to Kellen Doherty. Doherty tries to skate it up into the offensive end. Central whiffs on an opportunity to gather from Case and Panzer. Panzer stays with it in the corner. This is fought back into the neutral zone. Trulica and have to track all the way back after it, and they're waving off icing. Now starts the major penalty for Fargo North. So the Spartans go on the man advantage. 3 minutes of man advantage for Fargo North. It's a major penalty that Cooper DeZiel took at the end of the period, the end of the second period, near the end of it anyway. And Central will have to fight it off for the 3 full minutes. And they've been very aggressive on the penalty kill tonight. The Knights have gone after plenty of things shorthanded. Connor Long behind the net for Fargo North. Long stepping out to the near side, looking for traffic. Comes up right side and found Elijah Inger. Inger on the right wing, trying to dive in towards the corner. Panzer pays him a visit in the corner, and Inger went down. Puck comes loose and play back into the neutral zone for Kwame. Kwame trying to step around a defender and drive up into the offensive end shorthanded. Got turned around. Good defensive play by Holden Erbely, getting back on the back check to pick Kwame's stick and hold the puck away. And Connor Long comes away with control for Fargo North. Long back up in the neutral zone, stop and go on the pass. Drives it in towards goalie Weston Nielsen. Nielsen will hold it up, trying to transition out. Central clears. 1:55 remaining of the major penalty against Grand Forks Central. Puck to the point for Trey Clausen. Clausen sending it back into the offensive end. It'll be picked up by Jacob Spicer. Comes off towards the left side. Holden Erbely will come up the ice with it. Weston Nielsen stops the puck, took a funny hop on him. It's be played off the wall and flops back into the neutral zone. A rush to get back to it for Jack Barch, who we've really liked tonight for Fargo North. That kid's got a really, really bright future. He gets all over the ice and quickly. Andrew Schultz back on the Fargo North line, dumps it back into his own end for control from Levi Trulica. And Trulica will dump it back into the Grand Forks Central zone. Takes a hop off the end wall, picked up by Andrew Schultz. He looks out in front of the net. And Clausen comes up with a hit against, I believe, McComb on the far side to take McComb away from the puck and send McComb into the corner. Wyatt Blake will chip off the glass. It'll flop into the neutral zone. That was a happy accident for Central. Sam Preston comes out for a penalty kill shift and plays this all the way back into the Fargo North end. And now it's Preston that's up ice, looking to put on patrol, actually some pressure. And he got a turnover to go his way. Looked to get a wrister free, but it was blocked. Loose puck on the right side for McComb, and North's offside. 44 seconds remaining of the major penalty against DeZiel. 3-0 in favor of Grand Forks Central on the All-True scoreboard. We'll have a draw brought to you by Big Jim's Tire, your #1 supplier of ag tires in the region. And brought to you tonight by Apex Apparel and Promotions in Grand Forks. Puck ends up back in the Central end, chipped off the far wall. Central will clear once more. And a long rush to get up to it for Central. Mason Bensley tries to race it down. These are fourth liners for Grand Forks Central out on penalty kill that are trying to put on shorthanded pressure. It's a very aggressive penalty kill for Grand Forks Central. A lot of opportunities up ice on the penalty kill. Logan Nielsen will dump this back into the Fargo North zone. Back playing center field, Connor Long. Long drives into the neutral zone, and Logan Nielsen will turn and send it back off the far wall. Took another really bad hop. Burris, great pass up the ice. Opening up Kwame Rivard, back to Kwame, and the drive blocked again by Crocker, who got over for a big save. That's a huge save for Dominic Crocker, and a puck goes up into the webbing, and we'll see a draw with 12:05 left to go in the third period. Folks, watch this American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. 2-on-1 odd man, and look at this save. Crocker getting back to cut off the opportunity. That's an unbelievable headsy play for Fargo North's goaltender to keep this 3-0. That is a 2-on-1 with Rivard coming up the ice along with Kwame, and man, a 2-on-1, almost 2-0 the way that ended. Those two men aren't going to be denied that many opportunities when they come up ice in that situation, but a big stop by Dominic Crocker stopped him that time. Rivard spun aside. Kwame comes away with it. Down to the doorstep, and a chip by Trey Clausen that ends up going wide of the net. Back out to the point. Cutter onto traffic and a score. Ryder Rivard likely to get credit for this one as Cutterba put it in from the right point, and Central will take a 4-0 lead. The time of the goal will be at 5 minutes and 24 seconds. And they've thrown the puck out, so this may be Cutterba getting credit for it on its own. American Family Insurance, Tyler Nagel Agency replay. The sophomore defender, Carson Cutterba, on the point. Lots of traffic again. Rivard looking to make a tip on the back end. It gets through. And Cutterba and Central will take a 4-0 lead. The goal scored at 5:24 of the period. Central leading 4-0. We'll wait for the official scoring on the goal. Meanwhile, Nolan Marteau knocks one free for the Knights and drives into the corner. Goes loose back behind the net. McComb stepping out with it. He's pressured from behind. Marteau, Walk and Foose both there. Works back to McComb in the neutral zone. He went looking for Kellen Doherty, and Doherty has it sprint out too far in front. Cutterba back to the far side for the Knights. Played back on the left edge along the point. Central trying to pull it back in. Blake standing tall. Comes back near side for Spicer, and now Walkenfuss. Walkenfuss looks up ice to Marteau. Marteau, backdoor pass off the backhand. Looking for a rush from Spicer. Ends up going just wide. We'll get the scoring on the goal. And they're going to give it to Carson Cutterba. So Cutterba will come up with the goal. There will be an assist from Kwame and Trey Clausen. So Cutterba from Kwame and Clausen at 5:24 of the third makes it 4-0 Grand Forks Central with 10.5 minutes to go here in the third period. The Knights have outshot Fargo North 28-7. Central working their way to a 4-0 lead. Spicer up ice for the Knights. Pulled down a bit from behind. Puck loose into the corner. Walkenfuss throws a body. Comes out towards the point. Now wrestled free, and here comes Rorik up the ice, but another offside call coming up against Grand Forks Central. Rather against Fargo North. Score update over at Eagles Arena. Fargo Davies looks like they got one back in the third period early. Carter Sahlberg gets on the board to make it 6-2. The Eagles get back to within 4. Red River puts some doubt away in that one, scoring 5 goals in the first period tonight. To take that 5-0 lead, they now lead by a score of 6-2. Here it's 4-0 Grand Forks Central on the Ultra scoreboard. Puck off on the left side. Chase Larson trying to race it down, put one back through the neutral zone. Icing if it gets crossed. Nope, they're going to wave it off. Puck goes loose into the corner. It's held there by Inger. He'll turn it back to the point. Shot deflected out in front of the crease. And Rorik trying to hold on to position on the left side for the Spartans. This will come off on the left. Taken up by Central's Jacob Spicer. Spicer plays one up into traffic, and we'll see a cover-up by Dominic Crocker. So we'll see a draw coming up in the Fargo North zone. Draws brought to you tonight by our friends at Big Jim's Tire, your #1 supplier of egg tires in the region. And also brought to you tonight by Apex Apparel and Promotions, your hometown quick turnaround, family-owned and operated promotional shop in Grand Forks. We have a penalty coming up here against Grand Forks Central. Looks like a holding call against the Knights that will put the Spartans back on the power play, and they're going to get Cutterba, it would appear, for holding. No interference will be the call on Cutterba. So Carson Cutterba, who just scored the goal, and Cutterba picking up that goal, that's his first goal of the season, and they threw the puck out. And so that may indicate that it is, in fact, the first goal of his career. This penalty comes at 7 minutes and 37 seconds for interference on Cutterba. And another power play for Fargo North, brought to you by RBB Electric, on call, on time, and online, rbbelectric.com. So Fargo North on the power play, down by a score of 4-0. Rorik loads up with a slap shot. It's turned away by Wyatt Blake. Back out to the high slot. Puck picked up by Connor Long. He looks to the corner. Bring it out of the corner is Elijah Inger. He'll go back across the ice. And a drive in, Weston Nielsen makes a nice stop on Holden Erbely's wrister. And the puck back behind the net, thrown towards the Grand Forks Central bench. Another power play for Fargo North. They had, of course, the 3-minute major penalty where they got to skate with the advantage. Cutterba took a tripping call earlier in the second period. Right now, Fargo North 0 for 2 on the power play. Grand Forks Central had an opportunity on the power play earlier and scored their first goal that way. Puck leaks through the neutral zone, and now Ryder Rivard trying to come up ice against Rorick. Picked the puck free, tried to get on a shorthanded rush, but came up empty. It's 3-on-3 back into the Grand Forks Central end, being led by Elijah Inger for Fargo North in the corner. Inger will turn it back to the right for Kellen Doherty. Doherty's back there to pick it up. Dances out towards the near side point. A look by Rorick. Back to Doherty in the corner. He'll leave it off towards the right. Inger taking it there. Back to Doherty. A look again by Rorick. He'll steer to the high slot through a pair of men, and a mishandle by Fargo North on their power play cycle. Pressure by Rivard in the neutral zone. Puck brought back up by Holden Erbely. He got a shot in on Weston Nielsen, and Nielsen will hold for the whistle. 40 seconds left on the power play. Brought to you by RBB Electric. On call, on time, and online. RBBelectric.com. 8:02 to play in the third period. And we'll draw in the Grand Forks Central zone. Right circle to the right of Weston Nielsen. Spartans win a draw. It's picked up on the left point, taken by Leighton Olson. Olson coming back towards the right. He found Jack Barch, drive into traffic up and over the bar. Will cycle off the top of the Dashers, flip all the way onto the neutral zone. Trey Clausen comes up ice again. Central sends a flyer up the ice on their penalty kill every time. They're going to put a few seconds of pressure on the opposition back in their defensive end just to hold the rush up, and they like that opportunity. It's a very aggressive penalty kill. Barch coming back towards the left point, finding Leighton Olson. Olson a stop back to Barch, now on the right point. Barch a turn back towards the top. Trulica off the left side. Olson, a drive deflected again, and that's the end of the power play. So the Knights are back to full strength, and a loose puck to Trey Clausen after Cutterba threw a body. Clausen dances and scores. What a play, led by Cutterba, popping out of the box at the end of his penalty. He throws a body that frees a puck for Trey Clausen, and Clausen goes up the ice by himself and has his third point and his second goal of the night. We'll look at it again on the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. Clausen by himself, tough war for Dominic Crocker. Back to the forehand off the deke to the backside. And Trey Clausen has another goal. And the time of the goal will be at 9:45 for Trey Clausen. Clausen gets the goal. And Carson Cutterba with the assist. And it will be at 9:45 of the period. And Fargo North will call for timeout. So the Spartans will call for a timeout. It's a media stoppage. We'll take the break and come back with more next.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill.
If you've got an electrical emergency, call RBB Electric. We are your 24/7 electrician. Your call will always be answered by an RBB employee ready to help 24/7. RBB Electric is on time every time. Your time is valuable, and we don't waste it. RBB Electric always calls ahead to schedule service. We are online always. If you suffer from slow download speeds, call our certified network designers and installers. On call, on time, and online. RBB Electric won't leave you in the dark. RBB Electric, your 24/7 electricians.
Grand Forks Central leading Fargo North 5-0. All True scoreboard brought to you tonight by All True. Regular screenings with All True's care team can detect illness before symptoms begin. Stay in the game of wellness. Schedule an appointment. Visit alltrue.org. Call 780-5000. Let's take a look at a Vegan Construction game look-in tonight. Vegan Construction, designers, builders, engineers, nearly a century of quality work. Trey Clausen, 2 goals and an assist tonight. Nolan Marto, a goal and an assist. Carson Cutterba scores the first goal of his varsity career and has an assist as well. And Grand Forks Central leading by a score of 5-0. And that is our Vegan Construction game look-in, brought to you by Vegan Construction, designers, builders, engineers in Grand Forks. Under 7 to play here in the third period. Tyler Klein and Fargo North electing to use their timeout after the goal by Clausen. And Weston Nielsen lost sight of a puck, had it pop off of his left shoulder blade, or his left shoulder pad, I should say. And a puck will cycle back out towards the left point. Slap shot blocked by Grand Forks Central. Nolan Marto blocked the shot, had the wherewithal to turn it up the ice. Walkenfuss trying to chase it down after Spicer dragged it up into the neutral zone. Walkenfuss throws a body. Marto trying to dish back to Walkenfuss on the backhand, and Walkenfuss throws a vicious elbow up against the wall. He was not done on that shift until his shift was over. He threw a couple of different bodies in the process and continues to spin around out there while Kwame pops one up in the air. Actually, not Kwame, but rather Bodie Burris pops one up in the air. Puck towards Marto in the high slot, couldn't find it. Then it goes loose to the top of the crease, and we saw a dive by Crocker to try to knock it free. It'll trail back over into the far corner. Marto trailing. Back out to the point. Marto has it knocked loose. It'll flow back into the neutral zone. Nielsen will make a turn. Looks back off towards the right. Nielsen driving his way into the corner. Comes to a stop. Blades one back down towards the end wall. Fourth line shift for Central. Bensley comes out. Loose puck deflected by Kirkaby. It's been knocked free towards the near circle. Kirkaby out at the end of his shift, and Fargo North will clear. And we'll come back into the Fargo North zone for a draw with 5:34 left to go of the third period. Get an update on what's going on over at the Blue Line Iceplex. Davies has got another back in the third period. So Davies has scored twice in the third period, and those goals came early. So the game is becoming a game again over there. 6-3. Fargo Davies picks up a couple of goals in the third period, the first 3.5 minutes. The second of those was on the power play, and production has slowed down a little bit for Grand Forks Red River after that 15-7 shots on goal in the first tonight. Down to 5:12 left to go here in this one. 5-0 Grand Forks Central on top. Red River scored 5 goals in the first period of that game tonight, and has just kind of been holding on since then. Davies has won the last 2 periods, or at least the last period and a half. Puck loose in the neutral zone. Spartans fight it up with Andrew Schultz. Central will get it back in their own end. A look up the ice and a step away by Bodie Burris. He'll chip off the wall. Works back to Logan Nielsen, left corner. Nielsen tries to come back to Clausen at center. Clausen sidesteps the defender. Had Rivard in front of him. Tried the pass there, and it was deflected back to Clausen. He stayed with it. This will go loose in the neutral zone. Cutterba stepping back to the puck. Errant pass across the ice. Panzer has to chase it down behind him. Down to 4.5 to go in the third period. And Cutterba going to go chase one down back in his own end again. 5-0 Grand Forks Central on top of Fargo North here tonight. Drive up the ice. Clausen looking for Rivard. It leaks out to the high slot. Panzer into traffic. Knocked down in front of Rivard, but he couldn't find the puck cleanly. Scooped up by Holden Erbely. And Erbely takes a look up the ice. He's going to try to dump into the neutral zone. Did, but Cutterba was there on the center line to knock it down. Kwame comes away with it. Backhands it back up in the neutral zone. Got his own puck, then left it off for Rivard. Now Kwame short-sided down to the doorstep for Clausen, who reaches after the puck. This will be cleared by Fargo North. So the Spartans will send that one up the ice for an icing call. And another draw coming up here tonight. Draws tonight brought to you by Apex Apparel. Your hometown quick turnaround, family-owned and operated promotional shop in Grand Forks. And they're brought to you tonight by Big Jim's Tire, your #1 supplier of egg tires in the region. Central trying to run out the clock in this one, leading by a score of 5-0 with 3.5 to go. They've outshot Fargo North tonight 29-10. Puck along the near side boards. Kirkaby trying to get a piece. Flows back to the neutral zone. Panzer's back to cut it off. He'll dump this towards the net. Crocker makes a scoop and decides to distribute to keep the play alive, but 2 Knights are there. Marto just dumps Connor Long, and Kirkaby, actually Nielsen, picked up the puck down the corner. This will work back out to the neutral zone. A backstep for Grand Forks Central's Logan Bina. Bina tried to come through the neutral zone with it. Plays off towards the far boards. Doherty's there for Fargo North. Back towards the near side. Another big hit from Walkenfuss. Actually, that was not Walkenfuss. That was Grand Forks Central's Jacob Spicer that threw that body. But we've seen some bodies being thrown here by Central in the third period, and that might be part of the equation that's missing for the Knights tonight, or this season. The need to get a little bit more physical. We believe we got a final in from over at East Grand Forks. That was a 2-0 final over there. They had a lengthy injury delay tonight, from what we understand, a half-hour injury delay. There was a big hit in the game, and one of the players for Bemidji was down on the ice for quite some time, and they had to wheel that player out tonight. So that took a little extra time despite the 6 o'clock start, but the last score we had heard was East Grand Forks down 2-0 to the AA Lumberjacks. Wyatt Blake Back into his own end. A look up the ice trying to find a pass to Spicer. Ends up being deflected, and the Spartans will send it up the ice with Chase Larson. 2:15 to play in the third period. Blake taking a look for Central. This will be weaved through the neutral zone, and I'm not sure if it was touched up. It was not. Icing will be the call. Latest update, still 6-3. Grand Forks Red River leading Fargo Davies in that matchup over at Blue Line Iceplex. Devils Lake now takes a 3-2 lead on West Fargo. That's a final. Devils Lake's in the books. 3 more points for Devils Lake tonight. They go on the road and win by a final of 3-2. Here's a chance on Weston Nielsen. He'll come up with a glove save. So Devils Lake will stay in first place tonight. They go on the road and win at West Fargo. That's not an easy road trip for the Firebirds. But Devils Lake has impressed so far this season. Played Central to a tough matchup in Devils Lake and came up with a win over Cheyenne. Here's a shot by Wackenfuss, and he will score coming up the ice to produce running time as Central will take a 6-0 lead. That's just a straight breakout for Wackenfuss, and the time of the goal will be at 15:04 for Grand Forks Central, and it will be 6-0. Let's take a look at that on the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. Wackenfuss, just an unbelievably fast wrister coming off the left wall. And Gavin Wackenfuss will come up with a goal that will produce running time tonight. We'll get the official scoring on it as Wackenfuss will score. It'll be unassisted. So Wackenfuss all alone. Time of the goal at 15:04. And Grand Forks Central now leads 6-0, and the running time comes out. We're down to a minute and a half to go at any place in this one, but Central not dominant after a period, not dominant after 2, but their depth perhaps catching up to Fargo North. And Grand Forks Central taking a 6-0 lead, and now Clausen coming in. Big save by Crocker. Crocker's made a couple of toughies tonight. That one was one. Tuck back out to the point. Nielsen trying to dribble one through. Works to Bensley in the right corner. He'll turn it back to Clausen. Clausen a look, comes back across the ice, finding Burris. Burris trying to get a shot away. That was blocked, but he stayed with it. Kept the puck in the offensive end. A turn off to the right. Henning Gibbs trying to get one through, and then a touch by Mason Bensley. Bensley tried to turn it out. Gibbs was there to hold it down. 35 seconds to go. Bensley a turn. This is dumped back into the neutral zone over Logan Nielsen's head. And are they calling icing or not? They will not. Long stretch pass up the ice to Henning Gibbs trying to break out the transition play. Clock down to 20 seconds to go. Post-game report on the way, brought to you by Spray Advantage and the Ski and Bike Shop. We'll take you through all the highlights. There will be a brief break, and the highlights will be first up in our post-game report, brought to you by the Ski and Bike Shop tonight. So stay with us for that. Down to 5 seconds to go. And your final in this one's going to be 6-0. Grand Forks Central with a 6-0 win tonight over Fargo North. The Knights will improve to 4-1, 3 points in the league, and they'll stay a point behind first place tonight. Fargo North will drop to 3-1-0-1, and will remain at 4 points in the Eastern Dakota Conference tonight. Post-game report, the highlights are on the way. Post-game report brought to you by the Ski and Bike Shop and brought to you by Spray Advantage. You stay with us because those highlights are first up in our post-game coverage, so do stay with us. This is our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports. We're back with the post-game report next.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivards Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Go to rivards.com.
Rivals on the ice, united in the stands, and everyone's geared up from Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Hockey gear, fan apparel, Nodak Pride, we've got it all and more. Locally owned, 1004 South Washington Street. Shop local, shop Jarrell's.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, GrandTrailersSales.com.
Signature Graphics in East Grand Forks is your one-stop shop for all your branding and design needs. From embroidery, vinyl wrapping, laser print, and more, fully customized from start to finish, all in-house. Signature Graphics. We craft your vision. You watch it come to life.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
It's hard to explain what this feels like. We could try to put it into words, but nothing compares to experiencing it for yourself. You just have to get in the seat.
Visit True North Equipment at any of our 10 locations or at www.truenorthequipment.com.
Spray Advantage of Grand Forks carries everything you need for the chemical and fertilizer application on your farm. Pumps, tips, and tanks from 3 gallons all the way up to 10,000 gallons on hand. They can help with parts and accessories for the fertilizer and tillage equipment on your farm too. SprayAdvantage.com.
Apex Apparel is your quick turnaround apparel and promotional item shop in Grand Forks. If you're looking for direct-to-garment printing, embroidery work, or a huge selection of promotional items, come to Apex Apparel, your locally owned, family-run, quick turnaround apparel shop in Grand Forks.
The Ski and Bike Shop in Grand Forks. Gear up for ski season or hit the trails on a fat tire bike. At the Ski and Bike Shop, we offer top brands, ski and snowboard service, and everything you need for cold weather fun. The Ski and Bike Shop in Grand Forks, where your next adventure begins.
This is the KNOX Postgame Show. Brought to you by the Ski and Bike Shop and Spray Advantage.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey tonight on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network. KNOX Live Sports tonight here at Purpur Arena. Grand Forks Central muscles their way out to a 6-0 win tonight. Ryan Cunningham with you here this evening. Glad to have you along with us here tonight from Purpur Arena. It was not a dominating performance as far as the score was concerned after a period or even 2 periods of play. But Grand Forks Central pulls away in the third with 3 goals to make it 6-0 tonight over Fargo North, and Central was dominant when it comes down to shots on goal. 31-11 was the final number at one moment, We'll get the final scoring coming up here in a couple of moments, but Grand Forks Central goes on for a commanding win tonight. And with the win, they will stay within a point of first place in the league after Grand Forks Red River was on the verge of winning tonight over Fargo Davies. We'll get a final on that. And Devils Lake did win tonight over West Fargo. Our post-game report tonight brought to you by the Ski and Bike Shop. It's where all seasons matter at the Ski and Bike Shop, whether it's a Trek bike with fat tires to get you out on the trails, even in the snow, or if it's a new pair of skis, a new boot fitting for a snowboard, whatever you're looking for to keep things moving. The Ski and Bike Shop has quality products. I've got one of their Trek bikes myself, and I can tell you that it's done everything that it's supposed to do. They do great work with service as well at the Ski and Bike Shop. And our post-game report brought to you by Spray Advantage. Everything you need for spraying an application on your farm. The difference between Spray Advantage and their competitors is that Spray Advantage has what you're looking for in stock. Tips, tanks, nozzles, pumps, grain carts, seed tenders, and 2 locations to serve you in Grand Forks and St. Thomas. Spray Advantage. Make them a part of your agricultural game plan now and for years to come. Well, as we mentioned, Fargo North down 1-0 after a period of play, down 2-0 after 2 periods of play tonight. But Central's penalty kill was dazzling when they did take a couple of penalties. They forced a lot of the issue in Fargo North's zone tonight, playing some very solid up-ice type of play against that power play advantage from Fargo North when the Spartans did have the power play advantage tonight. And beyond that, Central just really did a lot of creative things offensively. As on the one hand, you can say that Fargo North was in the game after a period, in the game after 2 periods, but on the other hand, Central was so creative offensively, they were right around a number of additional scoring opportunities and maybe even some frustration for the fact the Knights haven't had a lot of success offensively. Now, before we get to the highlights, though, the one mystery here that comes out of this tonight, Cooper DeZiel takes a major penalty for face masking in the second period tonight. That was a game misconduct for DeZiel. Likely going to have to sit his next game. As of now, his next game is against Fargo Shanley on Thursday night down in Fargo. But with weather pending, if that one were to be weathered out, then Red River would have a Central team in front of them would be missing a piece in the form of Cooper DeZiel on Saturday. And that game between Red River and Central is going to be a big one, not just for the Gambucci Cup, but also for the Eastern Dakota Conference standings. Let's take you through the highlights that we had in this one tonight with our American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replays this evening. First goal of the game coming tonight from Grand Forks Central's Trey Clausen. And this one just kind of a wind-up here where you see Clausen get through and score. Actually, that was Trey Clausen that was credited for the goal tonight with a shot from the point. That was the second goal tonight. I want to come back to that, okay? This will be the third goal tonight. That was Logan Nielsen that scored that goal. We'll come back to this. This is Nolan Marto with the goal tonight. Blue-collar effort right on top of the blue paint. Just continue to dig at a puck. Let's go back. This was the second goal. The Knights were already up 1-0. This came right out of a stoppage, and Logan Nielsen picking up the draw and firing from long range. And again, you see those first two goals. Marto's goal, gritty area. That one just with some traffic out in front. Made it 3-0 at one point. Central 2-on-1 up the ice. Dominic Crocker comes up with a stop on Shea Kwame. So like we said, it could have been a lot worse. That was a big save for Dominic Crocker. But then Carson Cutterba, their first goal of his career, the sophomore defender from the right point, again with Rivard, running some traffic out in front of the net. That made it 4-0. Then Trey Clausen breaking out. Cutterba created this play after serving a penalty. Came out through a hit just jumping into the neutral zone. Clausen, an easy waltz up the ice for a score. And you know what? That's not a highlight tonight from hockey that we had for you this evening. And those are our post-game highlights that we had for you tonight. Brought to you by American Family Insurance, Tyler Nagel Agency, with your highlights here this evening. And that is how the highlights spin here tonight. Post-game report continues, and again brought to you by Spring Advantage and also by the Ski and Bike Shop tonight. Let's take a look at our scoring summary with Who Lit the Lamp tonight, and it's brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. They make the lamp and the light shine brighter tonight. As you can see, it's all for Grand Forks Central. Trey Clausen on the board with 2 goals and an assist tonight. 3 points this evening for Trey Clausen. Also, we see Nolan Marto with multiple points this evening. Marto a goal and an assist. Gavin Walkenfuss with a goal and an assist tonight for a multi-point night for Grand Forks Central as well. And the Blue Liners are on the board twice this evening. Logan Nielsen with a goal. Carson Cutterba with a goal tonight as well. So the Blue Liners scored twice for Grand Forks Central. Trey Clausen with 3 points this evening. Nolan Marto with a goal and an assist. Gavin Walkenfuss with a goal and an assist. They made some really, really excellent things happen tonight. And, of course, the shutout win for Weston Nielsen. Didn't face a lot of opportunities tonight. Grand Forks Central gave up just 11 shots on goal tonight. The final total was 29-11, or are those saves tonight? Those are just saves this evening. My apologies on that. Final shots on goal tonight will be 34-11 in favor of Grand Forks Central as they win it by a score of 6-0. But again, Trey Clausen, a 3-point night this evening. Walkenfuss with a goal and a helper. Nolan Marto with a goal and a helper. Logan Nielsen and Carson Cutterba get on the board with goals from the blue line, and Carson Cutterba with a 2-point night tonight as well. And that is Who Lit the Lamp. And Who Lit the Lamp, our scoring summary, brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. They make the lamp and the light shine brighter. One final break in our post-game report. When we come back, we'll go through our post-game awards. Central wins it tonight by a final score of 6-0. This is our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivard's Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales, Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
It's game day, and whether you're feeding the family or the entire team, Hugo's is the place to go. Score big with favorites from the meat department, delicious fresh veggies, and don't forget about the bakery to celebrate the big win. Hugo's Family Marketplace, your game day headquarters.
Thief River Glass handles it all. Aluminum storefronts, auto glass, windows, shower enclosures, and more. Just like our athletes, we're built for every season. No job is too big or too small. Call 218-681-1333 for year-round dependable service.
When you're looking for a change of pace, a change of routine, or a change of scenery, we'll help you find what's next. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. For you, for life.
This is the KNOX post-game show. Brought to you by the Ski and Bike Shop and Spray Advantage.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey tonight on the Rivard's Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. Again, your final score this evening is 6-0 in favor of Grand Forks Central over Fargo North tonight here at Purpur Arena. And again, our final numbers on this one tonight when we take a look at the conference standings. Devils Lake with a win tonight on the road. And we see Central with a win. Red River was on the verge of winning. We'll get an update on that here in a couple of moments. Our post-game report brought to you by Spray Advantage. Everything you need for spraying an application on your farm. And brought to you by the Ski and Bike Shop. Ski and Bike Shop, where that quality matters. They want to keep you moving all throughout the course of every season. The Ski and Bike Shop bringing you our post-game report tonight as well. Well, let's go through some of the scoring summaries that we have for you tonight. The final is in. Over at Blue Line Iceplex, Red River wins by a score of 6-3 tonight. Took a 5-0 lead at the end of the period, 6-1 after 2. Davies got a couple of goals back in the third, but Grand Forks Red River goes on for a win tonight by a final score of 6-3 in that matchup this evening. So Red River will stay in a tie for first place in the Eastern Dakota Conference. West Fargo Cheyenne was also up there in a tie. They were idle tonight, so they will drop down a little bit, but obviously lose no ground as far as games in hand. And Devils Lake goes on the road and beats West Fargo tonight by a final score of 3-2. And so the Firebirds will stay in a first-place tie tonight as well. We didn't get an update on Fargo, Shanley, and Grafton Park River. They were playing up in Grafton this evening. And again, East Grand Forks in action against Bemidji tonight, where they were beaten by a score of 2-0. Let's go into our post-game awards that we have for you this evening as we wrap up our post-game report tonight. We'll start with our 3 stars of the game tonight, and they're brought to you by PS Garage Doors, where the PS stands for perfect service, and that's what you get this year and throughout the course of many years. They've been serving the region since 1974 at PS Garage Doors. Call 772-DOOR. That's 772-DOOR for PS Garage Doors. They can service any make and model of garage door. They'll make the shopping painless as well. The PS stands for painless shopping. If it's time for a new garage door, they can help you with that. Many makes and models to choose from. They install and service everything they sell at PS Garage Doors. Well, 3 stars of the game this evening. There were a couple of guys really that stood out for Grand Forks Central tonight, even though everyone had scoring opportunities throughout the course of the night, it seemed, who was on the ice. But we saw a couple of guys kind of come to the forefront tonight when it comes down to kind of elevating their game a little bit this evening. And so we're going to go there tonight for our 3 stars of the game. Our 3rd star tonight going to be Gavin Walkenfuss. Scores a goal down the stretch, that unassisted goal late in the game, the 6th goal of the night. Also assisted on Nolan Marto's goal, which was a nice blue-collar goal for Grand Forks Central, where the entire line touched the puck tonight back in the period. Walkenfuss a goal and an assist. Marto a goal and an assist. Spicer had a goal. That line had a really nice night scoring, but Gavin Walkenfuss also did some nice things physically tonight, throwing some bodies, and he's going to pick up our 3rd star of the game tonight. 2nd star of the game going to be his line mate, Nolan Marto. That goal that he scored to make it 3-0, that's one of those that, again, is not pretty, but you respect the player that's willing to get in there and dig and come up with a momentum seizer. And that time, Marto turns a 2-0 game into a 3-0 game, just hanging around the crease and waiting for an opportunity and kept after a puck. He also assists later on in the night, gets on the board a couple of times tonight, does Nolan Marto. He assisted Trey Clausen's goal tonight. They got things started on the power play. Nolan Marto will be our 2nd star tonight. And our 1st star tonight, Trey Clausen. 2 goals and an assist, and Clausen just continues to shine. He did not have a goal this season. Breaks out for 2 of them tonight, had a 3-point night tonight as well for Grand Forks Central. Trey Clausen will be our 1st star tonight. 3 stars of the game tonight, brought to you by PS Garage Doors, will be Gavin Walkenfuss, Nolan Marto, and Trey Clausen this evening. Our next award is a defensive award. It's our Finest Auto Trim, Finest Cover of the game. And it's brought to you by Finest Auto Trim, where their motto is big or small, they cover it all. Finest Auto Trim specializes in recovering vehicle seats and boat seats. If you put that boat away after it was run hard this year, get those seats recovered at Finest Auto Trim. And if you keep things outside, Finest Auto Trim has you covered there as well, where they can custom make a cover for a pontoon that you store outside or a power generator, AC unit. Finest Auto Trim, big or small, they cover it all. This one's a little bit more difficult tonight to kind of come up with an award, just for the fact that the defensive performances were really good on the offensive side of things. A lot of pressure up in the offensive zone, only gave up 11 shots on goal. But if you're going to kind of tilt the defensive side of things, let's go with Carson Cutterbutt, the sophomore defender, picking up that award tonight. Not only was he good defensively, but a goal and an assist tonight for Carson Cutterbutt. The sophomore getting the 1st goal of his career. He plays a nice night from the blue line. He'll pick up the Finest Auto Trim, Finest Cover of the game tonight, brought to you by Finest Auto Trim. Big or small, they cover it all. And, of course, our final award that we have for you tonight is our award that we have tonight for Stamping Out Hunger, and that award comes from Northland Community and Technical College, where they're working with us to stamp out hunger in the region. At Northland Community and Technical College, they donate goals, and they donate dollars based on goals scored, points scored, to the Pioneer Food Pantry in East Grand Forks to help stamp out hunger in the region. Northland Community and Technical College is the place to start that liberal arts degree for less, right here in your own backyard. Northland Community and Technical College, helping KNOX fight hunger in the region. And tonight, 6 goals for Grand Forks Central, $6 donated by Northland Community and Technical College to the Pioneer Food Pantry to help stamp out hunger in our region. That award compliments of Northland Community and Technical College. That'll do it for us tonight from Purple Arena. Up next is basketball on Thursday night over on the east side again, as we'll see East Grand Forks in action against Dilworth Glendon Felton. That'll be a huge battle in Section 8 AA play coming up on Thursday night over at East Grand Forks in Senior High. Join us for that. Saturday, more hockey coming your way. We've got doubleheader basketball on Friday between Central and Red River, and hockey on Saturday here between Central and Red River as well in the Gambucci Cup Series. Join us for those coming up. Want to thank our fine sponsors and all of you for joining us this evening. Your final score tonight, Central 6, Fargo North nothing. This is our coverage of high school hockey. Thank you for joining us tonight on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports.